K-Man's top news headlines of the day from CMR.
Brought to you by J. Michael, fashion for everyone. Happy Monday, Sandy.
Yeah.
Hello, Blake and Aaron. Happy Monday.
How was the birthday celebration?
It was all good. I'm not going to complain. Yeah, did a little bit of brunch, did dinner with the hubby.
How's it feel to be 50? The big 5-0.
It feels pretty much the same as 49.
Half a century. Oh my gosh.
But no, I'm feeling good. Feeling good.
Great.
All right, so let's get into some news.
Let's do it.
Police are investigating what I would call a home invasion.
What is
over the weekend?
Crazy story.
What happened there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so these people were at home and the son and husband were outside having a little smoke, and these guys come around the corner, armed men, and they run inside, and robbers come and kick the door in and get into their house.
Demanding jewelry, though.
Yeah, I mean, it seems very targeted. You know, anybody with a little bit of detective skills would definitely say these people knew what they were looking for. They knew who they were looking for. So I think from the perspective of the RCIPS, maybe it's going to be an easy case to crack. I don't know. But yeah, so the young man, the son in the family, tends to wear some jewelry, and they were very, very specific about that's what they wanted. Yes. So
gotcha. Do we know who the people are?
Yes, but we won't be saying.
I see.
Right. I'll tell you off air.
Okay. That's how K-Man rolls.
Yep.
Yep. We trust me. We know a lot of people.
Okay.
So there are multiple disturbances being monitored by the Hurricane Center. We've got a total of 5. 2 are named.
3 now.
3 named now? Oh gosh.
Yeah.
OMG. So this is we're going into the height here around September 10th of the hurricane season. So we haven't seen too much action now, but as we can see, lots of time left. So just want to encourage people to be very, very vigilant. Obviously, there is a system that is pounding Mexico and California now. I think it's moved into Cali. And so they're expecting flooding and potential, really harsh weather. Although I think it's only a tropical storm for them, they still said that it could cause some significant damage.
Yeah, they got lots of flooding. It's moving fast. You're talking about Hillary.
Yes.
It's going about 30 miles an hour. It's already in the Sierra Nevadas.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fast. Okay. And we've got a man in court pleading guilty, Kelsey Martinez Ebanks. He's a Nicaraguan Caymanian. He was arrested for causing death by dangerous driving back in 2021 of American nurse Kiara Perkins Williams. And he has pled guilty after appearing in grand court on Friday. So I don't know if you guys remember this, but she's an HSA nurse.
Yeah.
And she was literally about to leave the island, I think, within days. I believe this is the same case, right? Yeah, unbelievable. She was preparing to leave, and his vehicle ran into hers. She was driving a Honda Fit, and he was driving a Shangang vehicle. Collided right in South Sound. And, I remember this one because I thought it was so sad that she was actually preparing to leave the island within a matter of, I think even maybe the next day or something. So sad. So anyway, he's pled guilty. We'll keep an eye on what happens. There's a lot of chatter about the fact that there has to be stiffer sentences for these types of incidents because literally they get a slap on the wrist.
Yeah, that it is. It does need to be looked at for sure.
Yep. So the Ministry of Education, after CMR exclusive story about a father in Jamaica who is alleging that a man here sexually assaulted his daughter, and he was going to be hired by the Ministry of Education, they have since put the kibosh on it and said that they are now investigating this situation. And they're asking, for people to just give them time to look into it. But in the meantime, they put him on, I guess, leave. I mean, he's a new recruit, so he hasn't technically started working yet, but he will not be going into the school system. I think he was supposed to be an assistant teacher or something. Wow. And they're now saying that he will not be doing that. And they're carrying out an investigation, and they've referred the matter to the MASH unit. Unfortunately, we're understanding that the little girl who's only 15 or 16 years old is not minded to press charges. She does not live here. She was actually visiting her aunt, and this is her aunt's husband. So we're going to be talking about that one today because that's a whole can of worms that we need to peel open slowly but surely.
All righty.
So very sad situation, but at least thanks to our story, they, decided to not have him start work this week.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, guys.
We will catch you tomorrow for the Tuesday headlines. Have a
Yes,
great day.
and can we say to your listeners, because some of them might swap over, that little issue on Bobo this morning, so we're not sure if we will be live at all, but we're connected in just in case.
Little technical issue we'll sort out shortly.
So join us on Facebook or YouTube.
Sounds good.
All good. Thank you.
Thanks, Sandy.
Yep.
All right.
All right, folks. Good morning. How are you beautiful people doing today? Welcome one and welcome all. All right. Let's go ahead and let's go ahead and get this started. I do think that it is 7:30, right? Yeah, okay. Something's a little off this morning. All right, beautiful people. Let me play that intro song. Oh, yeah. If your friends are listening to radio, let them know something a go on. The radio's not on. Let me grab the Facebook link. Hold on one quick second, folks. Yeah. Okay. All right, here we go. Wake up. Let's get it.
Bigger, better, bolder. The cold, hard truth is taking talk to the next level. Right here on Bobo 89.1 FM, Cayman's Community Radio.
We are still spilling the tea.
And committed to being part of the change that Cayman so desperately needs. Join Sandy Hill weekdays from 7:30 a.m. for Premier Access, Cayman Voices, Truthful Thursdays, and much more. Cayman's #1 talk show is now bigger, better, bolder, and more than talk. Getting results with hot topics, consumer reports, court exposés, and more.
I've come to set the record straight. I've come to shine the light on you. Let me introduce myself. I am the cold, hard truth.
Now, from the CMR studio in Grand Cayman,
Live, direct.
it's the cold, hard truth. Now, join the conversation on 345-936-2626.
That number again is
345-936-2626.
Welcome. Yes, there are some technical issues. I see some of you messaging me already. There are some technical issues on the radio this morning. So we don't know what it is, but their technicians are actively working on it. So hopefully they'll get it sorted out maybe at some point during the show. We're not sure. Could be at the I think Blake just mentioned that it could actually be at the site location at the tower. In which case, that's not likely to get sorted out during the show because that requires a site visit. So I don't know. Yes, honey child. These things happen, What can I tell you except modern technology? You gotta love it. When it works, it's fantastic. Let me tell you. But when it doesn't work, All right. Let me send out technical issues on the radio today. So please tune in here. Yeah. Okay. Just saying this to everybody. Hold on one second, good folks. Let me get you going. Well, that's why I love the fact that we have more than one way to stream the show and more than one way for you guys to listen. Isn't that beautiful? What a blessing. I'm actually eating breakfast this morning. Got myself some good old plantain, some nice nitrate-free sausage, and the plantain's not ripe enough for me, do you know? Love me a ripe plantain, boy. And some nice breadfruit. Delicious. Who's with me this morning, honey Joe? All right. We have in the house Miss Vernita. Good morning, darling. Miss Juanita. Miss Juanita Smith. That's me. That's my personal YouTube account right there, saying good morning to everybody on YouTube. Good morning, Evelyn. Georgia. Hello. Olivia's here. Oh God, Evelyn, I gotta talk to you. I have got to talk to you this morning, child. I saw something on your page that has me so vexed. I'm coming. Miss Olivia Everton, Miss Dean in the house. Hello, beautiful Debs. How you doing? We got another Juanita. We got Juanita Smith, Juanita Ebanks, Miss Iva. Miss Iva is back. She was out a little bit last week having a little medical procedure done. How you feeling, honey Jill? She's wishing everybody a pleasant good day. She said, I can see that you hit a blast for your 50th, so don't catch up on me. Yes, sir. What a mess. No sound on YouTube. Are you sure? YouTube and Facebook kind of go hand in hand. So if you can hear me on Facebook, you should be able to hear me on YouTube. They're coming from the same source. So try refreshing. That's how it works. Yes, honey child. Felicia, Patricia Blake is here, looking all fancy. Dean, good morning. Oh, today's your birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. We still doing good with the birthdays, honey child. Oh my God. YouTube sounds good, said somebody. So yeah, I didn't think it was on my end. Like I said, YouTube and Facebook go hand in hand. If one isn't working, the other one ain't working either because of the way the whole setup works. They are together. And then radio is a little bit separate. Still trying to figure out though, like when I play like on Friday, when I was playing a voice note through WhatsApp, like at one point the radio people couldn't hear it. So I had to make some adjustments. It's a bit of a pain because I've got so many things going on here. Let me show y'all. A little bit behind the scenes. So this is like the board. Yeah. And then all these little things here, these are called faders. And each one of these are assigned to do something different. So some, like this one here, the first one, this is my mic. I don't know if you guys can really see. Yeah, so this one's like my mic. This one's Bluetooth. So normally Bluetooth, I can mute that because normally Bluetooth is not connected. But I have like my phone. If I want to take a call, which I know sometimes y'all call me on this anyway, I can connect it to Bluetooth. So let me show y'all now. So if you call me on my personal number, as long as the Bluetooth is connected to the board, which right now it isn't. Everybody can see all the things they're not connected. I can connect it. I have to be careful with this though, because I have noticed that when I connect it, depending on where I have the phone, sometimes you hear some feedback and stuff. You hear some clipping noise. So that's Bluetooth number 2. Right now I have it muted. Number 3 is, oh Jesus, what's number 3 again? I think this might be phone calls through, oh, speaking of phone calls, let me turn this phone on because this always restarts over the weekends. I think this one is phone calls. This is stuff that we play through the computer. This one I think is my wireless mic. Chad, we got 5 physical faders is what they're called. And then we have some virtual ones, which you don't see on the board, but then I see on my screen. It's complicated. It's like a lot of your relationships. Complicated. Hey, Andy. Hey, Wee Wee. Stephanie's in the house. So, the funny thing about doing this show is I've had to, look at that. Somebody calling me already. Hold on now. Because anytime I can hear it like that, that means that this isn't properly connected. Because I should never hear it ringing quite like that. There we go. Now, good morning, caller. How you do? Oh gosh, hold on. Somehow that call got disconnected. Oh no, we can't get a toll-free number, honey child. Flo gonna make me cry over here without a toll-free number. But y'all know business, y'all. Like, don't worry, Sandy, we got credit. Who was just calling? Call me back, honey child. So anyway, it's been a learning curve. I was actually putting something together last night about CMR, and it got me in the mood to think about, ooh, child, we have come a long ways. Oh my God. I couldn't imagine that I would have even the knowledge base and the technical skill that I have now with like these boards and stuff. And trust me, I'm no expert. Like I just know a little bit to be dangerous to get my job done. Morning, caller.
Good morning, Sandy.
Hello, honey.
Just letting you know, is the radio working this morning?
No, they're having, they called me to say that they were having some kind of technical problem. They're not quite sure what it is, but they are troubleshooting it. I think because of the rain, maybe something went down at the tower.
Oh,
okay. Because I don't think they have a backup generator out there, but you can listen on YouTube and Facebook.
Will do. Thank you.
Thank you, honey. Appreciate it.
Okay, bye.
But thanks for letting me know. But yes, Chuck called me right before I went on air to say, ooh, we're having a problem this morning. They might have to restart something at the tower. I don't think there's a generator out there or something. So, hurricane season, folks, is here. So have your contingency plans in place about what you're doing for hurricane season. And, a lot of us do not have generators. I happen to have a generator as of last year. Praise the Lord. So I will have power even if CUC goes out for a bit. The process of getting a generator installed, like a proper generator, not just one that you just plug in and, like emergencies, but having it connected to your house is a lot of work. The guys were here at least a full day, just in the panel box, trying to map out what happens there. And apparently I didn't get it. That was more my husband's thing. I was just like, ooh, looks interesting. But I saw some of what they were doing. And in fact, they actually had to go in and decide, well, we had to decide beforehand what needed to be in the generator, because a generator can't run a full house. I mean, not everything, so it was like, okay, do you want this room that has, this TV in it and this and this? Do you want the kitchen with the refrigerator and the stove to be on the generator? So you actually have to decide. Morning, Atlas. George is having a birthday today too. Happy birthday. So it was really interesting to kind of get a glimpse of how the process works. And they were busy like, okay, we're going to do this on the panel box. And I was like, ooh, looks complicated. Anyway, I was saying that, we've done so much in 6 years here in CMR that it's been amazing. It really has been an amazing journey. And I want to thank all of you who have been on this journey with me because, I consider you guys family around here. And we've been doing this together in a way. And some of you were believers from day one, and some of you are not. You might be more recent converts. But you know what? You're here now, and that's all that matters. And I just really appreciate the love and support that we get for this platform everywhere I go. I mean, it is just overwhelming and it's amazing. So for my birthday on Friday, I had a little bit of a situation. I was putting out fires on my birthday, trying to solve other people's problems, but they created problems for me. So of course, you know me, I'm on it. So I went with my girlfriend after the show. We did a spa date at the Ritz. Fabulous. Now y'all know I love the Westin. I love the Westin. I think the Westin is the only one that has a private couples room where you can do like one that actually has a like sauna, like a not sauna, but the spa, the whirlpool or whatever in it, so you can get in there and soak away all the stresses of the day. But we went. I actually had a gift certificate from last year for my birthday, so I was like, oh, maybe I should finally use this. So I went to the Ritz. It was an amazing service, I have to admit. I see why people love that experience. It was very, very good. Like my friend said, she thinks that is the best massage she has ever had. And I'm like, you know, we're massage people. And it's definitely up there. Normally I sleep during a massage, child. I'd be out. I'd be hearing myself snoring. I'm like, oh my gosh, I heard myself snore. So then when I got out, it's a good thing I had the massage, because then when I got out, the stress started. I was trying to get a vehicle cleared. And guess what? The keys were left in Miami. Lord Jesus, how these things happen, don't even ask me, because I don't know. But the keys were in Miami. So, you know, if you're at the port, you can't leave and clear vehicle if you don't have the keys, because the vehicle won't be driving anywhere. So it was like, what? The keys are where? In Miami? How the heck did that happen? But can I tell you, Caymanians are so amazing. We really come to each other's rescue in the most amazing way. So I was able to recruit the help of Mr. Ray Hines. I want to give Mr. Ray a big shout out this morning. Found out that he was on the flight, contacted his wife, said, hey, can I get your husband's number? Always go through the wife, folks. The wife or the husband. If you don't know the other person that well, don't be contacting them directly now. So you all know I love me some KK. She is such a sweetheart. And she said, sure, here's this number. And I told her why I was calling him. Respect due. And so she's like, no problem. Of course he'll help. And he says, yes, he was on his way actually to the airport. And he was going to, you know, assist me once the shipping company got the keys to the airport. So it was this mad rush to get the keys to the airport, and they had to like clear their policy and blah, blah, blah. So anyway, thankfully he got it here. Thank you so much, Ray. He said, girl, this is your birthday present. So yeah, so that happened on Friday, and then Saturday, I was busy planning dinner for the afternoon. We went out for, my husband and I did a little dinner, spent some time together. It's hard to find time to carve out time for just yourself when you got a 7-year-old. I've got to be honest with you. It is challenging, but you got to do it, honey child. Got to try and keep them sparks going. Like spark plugs. So it was a relatively good weekend. Then yesterday we did brunch with some friends. Fabulous time. Oh my God. I ate so much food at brunch. Can I tell you? I've not been to Blue Cilantro in a really long time. I even forgot how they did their brunch. But geez, peace. The food was off the chain. Volume and quality was amazing. Cayman has some very, very good restaurants. I must tell you, I think we have some of the best restaurants in the world, definitely the Caribbean. And I tell you what, they did not disappoint. And it's actually, I think it's good value for money. Like, I think their pricing is very, very reasonable. Anyway, we ate and ate and ate some more. So yes, it was really, really, really good. So shout out to Blue Cilantro. Go check them out. And it seems like everybody there was having a birthday. Wendy next to us was having a birthday. And then the next table was having a birthday. And the next table over by them was having a birthday. Everybody's celebrating because, August is the most popular month for birthdays, right? So Lucille Forbes, good morning to you. Alejandra's in the house. Lavana, yes, we're aware there's some kind of technical issue in the radio. We're still tapped in so that if they sort it out during the show, it'll just automatically go live. But we are aware that something's going on the radio this morning. Evelyn, we're going to talk about the weather. So over the weekend, we've had rain off and on. In fact, yesterday morning, yes, I got up and I went to, normally Zeus wakes me up quite early now, child. Even if I wanted to sleep in, I have to get up and let him do his business first, walk him and bring him back. And then I might be able to get back to sleep. But yes, I don't think he was waking me up yet, but I could hear a little bit of thundering, rolling in the distance. I said, rains are coming, so let me get up. So I got up and took Zeus out, and he did his little business. Sometimes I'm like rushing him. I'm like, Zeus, hurry up. The mosquitoes are killing me. The rain's coming. But he just, sometimes you got to walk him a while for it to happen, So we'll go all the way up this way and then the next way. And then I'm like, okay, I think he's almost ready. So anyway, so we watched yesterday morning and we came back just in the nick of time because just as we came inside, I try not to bring any mosquitoes in with me because they're always latching onto your clothing and stuff. So I'm like trying to kill them as I get in the door. But just as we got in, the heavens opened up and it started pouring. And I was actually at the computer. I said, let me try and I had a project that I need to complete yesterday. And I said, let me try to work on it because I knew we were going for brunch. And so when I started working on it, I was like looking out the window. It was so dark out. Like it looks like just dark. And the wind was like, when it goes like sideways, almost like a little mini hurricane outside my window. And it was thundering and lightning and no, Lanny, this is not the kind of key that anybody in Ireland can make. I can assure you of that. It's not that type of key at all. And a lot of these keys for these cars, you can only get from the manufacturer. Nobody else can make those keys, not for any new cars. And for you to get a key like that made, you're looking at months and months and months. So don't try to lose your car keys, folks. The old-fashioned keys, maybe you can get that made. These new keys for these EVs and all kind of stuff, you're salt if you lose one of those. Trust me. Make sure you have the backup key hidden somewhere in a vault, because otherwise you're not getting it back. So anyway, I was able to get a little bit of work done, and it just poured rain, and then it cleared up a little bit, and we enjoyed some sunshine yesterday. And then last night, as you guys know, the thunder and lightning came rolling back in. Again, I ran out real quick and walked Zeus last night, just in the nick of time. And then it started raining and thunder and crackling. And I was like, I love this weather. Gigi's like, I'm scared of the thunder. I said, you know what you do? Just go to sleep. This weather makes you sleep and you get all cozy and then you're not scared anymore because you're sleeping. So, the thunder and lightning is amazing. So, mosquito zapper, which ones? I've got all kind of zappers around the place, but I wonder which one. We have one in the backyard that hangs and it catches all kind of stuff, but girl, that don't help when you have to walk up and down walking a dog. Good morning, Miss Sue. Miss Ethel is here. So Irvlyn, I saw that video on your Facebook feed this morning with the dog and the little baby. This is so disturbing. I didn't have the audio on, but I could see exactly what was going on. I don't even know if I want to play this for you all because I feel like it's just one of those things that really is going to upset me today. Basically, this is a baby with a dog, and the dog ends up nipping the baby. And then the baby's reaction, Irvlyn, I'm trying to find it. The baby's reaction is to hit and bite the dog back. First of all, for a little toddler, he got anger issues, honey child. I was disappointed to see that video. And I'm disappointed to see that someone is sitting there recording this and not coming to the rescue of either the dog or the child. I was like, what the hell? Who does this? I'm gonna make y'all watch it. I'm gonna take my headphones out because I can't watch it. But hold on one second. Interactions. I'm trying to find it. But I do want y'all to watch it because there's a lesson here in all of these things. Number one, you never, ever leave babies, even young children, alone with a dog. Listen to me. My daughter was born into a house that had a dog. And Coco always had the sweetest disposition in the world. When I tell you, one time I recognized how amazing that dog was, right? And that she would probably never bite anybody. We were walking down the street in my old neighborhood, Coco and I, one day, and we came across this little kid. He was a toddler, and I was standing there talking to his mom, not paying attention to what he was doing to Coco. And this is how accidents happen, right? And he grabbed Coco by the face and started twisting, like right by her little whiskers or whatever, started twisting her face. And Coco yelped out. And I said, no, 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 no. I said, don't do that. Don't do that. You know, most dogs would have bitten that baby. That's how I knew. Listen, Coco was like 1 in a million in terms of dog. He wouldn't do that to Zeus because Zeus has a very different disposition. Zeus is sweet, but he's very, very young. Coco at that point was older. And he's also very nippy. And there's a couple reasons why a dog might present itself as nippy. Sometimes people separate dogs from the litter too soon, and that's actually a mistake. Y'all be, oh, I want to hurry up and get the dog. But when you separate the dog from the litter too soon, there's certain things that the dog has to learn from the, there's certain things that a dog has to learn from the litter, including its mom and its playmates. And if you separate them too quickly, unfortunately, that doesn't happen. Did you take it down, Evelyn? I'm trying to find it. I can't find it. So this is where, you know, as human beings, we have, oh, here it is. We have an obligation to ensure that we are not putting children and dogs at risk. Oh my God. I'm just watching it. Like, I'm not even listening to this video. If you're hypersensitive, please do not watch this video. Because when I saw this video this morning, you know who I wanted to grab up and smack? Not the dog, the baby. But I can't blame the baby either. Although, like I said, he looked like he got anger issues. But what parent is sitting there, whoever is responsible for this baby and dog situation, sitting there allowing this to happen? This is the height of irresponsibility. And somebody actually think that this is funny, that this little boy is biting a dog. You know, Nosa, it's horrible. You don't do this stuff, folks. You do not leave children unattended, babies unattended. So again, going back to Coco, like I said, I knew she was a great dog because she never bit that little boy, and she had every right to bite him. Believe me, you. And the fact that she didn't, right, says a lot about her and her temperament. And not every dog is going to have that kind of a temperament. Don't watch it if you get upset easily. So I always supervised Coco and Gigi. The day we brought Gigi home, Coco went and slept underneath her little crib, and she was there for her. I mean, you could see the love immediately, but still things happen. Dogs get irritated. So there were times when Coco would be like, Gigi grabbed it, and I said, time out. Let's give Coco some space. You know, you could see she was kind of getting agitated. Kids like to chase dogs around. And if they've lived in a household where they're not with a child, you know, this is a new experience for them. And babies don't always get it. Sometimes they're rough. It's not that they're intentionally being rough. You know what I'm saying? They have to learn how to be gentle. All right, watch this video. And I'm telling you, it's very, very disturbing. And then he goes, look at it. Oh my God. How horrible. Listen, whoever has this baby, this child, and the dog needs both of them to be taken away. That is one of the most horrific things I've ever seen. The puppy is like a baby. The puppy is a baby. So yes, he's nipping. That's what they do. But you have to teach them not to do it. Right? And look at what that little boy does. Yes, the puppy bit him, nipped at him. And listen, puppy teeth are the sharpest teeth. They're even sharper than when they get their adult teeth in, up to a certain extent, right? Because they're very, very pointed. Okay? This isn't funny. This is not amusing. Whoever's standing there recording this should have immediately stepped in and removed that poor dog from the situation. And then look at what the little boy does. He grabs up the puppy and bites the puppy back. Again, I think it's an extreme response, but he's just a baby. He doesn't understand how to control his emotions. He doesn't understand why the dog nipped him. So he's acting like an animal, just like the dog. He actually bit the dog, like WTF. And then starts you hear the poor dog yelping, and he gets on top of the dog. I'm like, what the hell? Parents, don't set your children up for a situation and then blame the dog. This isn't the dog's fault. This is the fault of the adults. When a dog is that small and a puppy is that small, the time that they spend together has to be extremely well supervised. And you would never let a puppy like that run free around a baby or whatever, right? They need supervision. Some adult should have been there holding the dog and the baby and showing the baby how to gently touch the dog and not allowing the dog to nip on the poor baby either. Oh my God. Exactly, Alejandro. He says, what a tormenting experience. The person recording is not human. I agree. That's not, that kind of stuff really upsets me, to be honest. I don't even want to see it. I'm removing it from my thing right now. That's just utterly disgusting. Even now, Gigi's always picking Zeus up. I'm like, Gigi, leave Zeus. Number one, he has 4 legs. He does not have to, that's a real video. That's a real video for sure, Richard. Unfortunately. I'm like, the dog has 4 legs. You don't have to pick him up all the time. And one of the things she likes to do, because she's like, oh, he's so sweet. I love Zeus. He's so cuddly. Like, she wants to get in her face all the time. And I've noticed that a lot of dogs do not like for you to be getting in their faces. And I'm like, Gigi, if the dog nips you in the face, it's going to be a problem. Put him down. Leave him alone. There are times where I have to take him away. Put him in his cage so everybody can have a timeout. Right? And it's constant supervision and reinforcement. And she's not supposed to be taking him out of his cage without permission. Oh, it's horrible. Adults, be adults. You know what I'm saying? Supervise your children properly. It's just absolutely ridiculous. Oh my God. And then the poor dogs are always the one who's going to get the short end of the stick, because had he really bitten that baby, the poor dog is going to be put down. But look at what they allowed that baby to do to that dog. Now this dog, the baby's going to be traumatized probably and have a fear of dogs. And then the poor dog needs to be removed from that home. I mean, the baby bit the dog. What the fuck? Like, really? Oh my God. And then he got on top of him with his body weight, and you hear the poor puppy yelping out. People, you don't have to be a pet owner. If you're that irresponsible, you shouldn't have dogs or pets. Somebody said that ruined their life. I'm so sorry. I agree that she said the parents should be put down. I mean, it is egregious, but I see people putting, children at risk and putting dogs at risk all the time because of their stupidity of not knowing how to responsibly handle pets. Good morning, caller.
You see, Sunday, morning.
Yeah, morning.
that really is tormenting, you know,
Oh
because
my God.
you know, as us in the Caribbean, we know that we have families that love to have family dogs, and in my family especially, we always have dogs, and the children grow up with the dogs, but we live in, like, it's almost as if we're living in a generation where your eyes become a camera. Your eyes become a camera, so you're not even paying attention to what the
Yeah.
child is doing to this. You're just recording it. You're not looking at the child. You're looking at the camera, the phone. That's where you're being almost as if you're extracted from reality. What is the possibilities of these things? This
Yeah.
is something that you have to be monitoring as if it is your own child, or both of them are your own child. You don't know what they're going to do, or both. You can't talk to all two of them and then make sure that they understand.
Mhm. Yeah.
That's
And
terrifying
let
when you
me
see
be
stuff
let
like
me
that,
be
because
very, very
children love to play with animals.
yeah.
Children love to play with animals.
And let me be very clear, right? At this stage, you can't have an intelligent conversation with the baby or the puppy because they're both too young.
No, they're learning, so they're following what you do, and then all they're seeing is something to play with, like a toy. Look, my daughter is 19 months, right? And my grandmother has a Pomeranian, the most fastiest son of a gun. He would bite anything to anyone, right? And when my daughter plays with this dog, we treat this dog as if it's an animal. It's not a pet at that moment. We're gonna know that this dog is capable of doing anything, not just because that's your family dog. That dog has no more sense than what you thinking right now when you're making that dog play with him, with that child. So you have to, you know, make sure that the dog, you teach the children how to pet dogs, not to grab them. That's all. Teach them not to grab the dogs, because that's their first instinct, to grab and pull anything that they can get. You know, my daughter, she, like I say, is a baby, right? But you teach them how to pet the animals, not to grab them up and hug them up and anything like that. You have parents that want them to hug the dogs or the cats so that they can get a little picture. That's the stupidest thing you can make a child do. That's the any parent that I can make them hear. It's not that you're doing something stupid. Just don't do it at all. It's simple. It's not the best thing to do, to post on social media, to risk your child from getting bite on their face. That's all I gotta say.
Thank you. Appreciate
Social
it.
media make you do some crazy things.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why anybody, like I said, is sitting there recording. I'm sure it literally happened in a split second, but still, I would have ran in and grabbed both the baby and the dog and separated them immediately. But you should never leave them unsupervised to begin with. There was another one the other day with I think it was a Rottweiler or some big dog with a newborn baby, not even a toddler like this one, like literally, you know, baby's maybe a couple months. I wasn't even sure if the baby was rolling over yet. Had them both on a bed together, right? Again, recording. And the baby was, I can't remember if the baby was rolling on top of the dog, something. And they're like, oh, look at how cute this is. And, you know, let me just try and see if I can find this again. And the person recording the video is like, this is not funny, folks. This is not amusing. This is not entertainment. This is how your babies get hurt. And then when your babies get hurt, this is how relatively good, innocent dogs actually get put down. Because if that dog got put down or bit that baby for some reason, this is not going to be a bite that's going to be pleasant, right? And then all of a sudden, the dog is the one who has to pay the ultimate price with its life. It's the height of irresponsibility. Now, there's some situations, folks, when you introduce a baby into the home, and there's a way that you should do it when you bring a baby home, and most of you don't have a clue. You need to get proper dog handling experience, even with small breeds. Just because the dog is small doesn't mean that it's not capable of biting. I always used to chuckle when people would see Coco and they're like, oh, does your dog bite? And I would say, does the dog have teeth? What kind of question is that? Does a dog bite? Does it have teeth? Anything that has teeth has the potential to bite. So I'm not going to swear that she's not going to bite, although she never did, but every dog has a very different temperament. And there's certain situations that you've not ever encountered before that might set a dog off, or that day the dog might just be having a bad day. So this is why, you've got to be very, very careful. I mean, I always used to teach Gigi, because we had a dog in her home. She assumed every dog in the world was very much like, yes, every dog in the world was very much like Coco. And she'd just be like, oh, I want to hug them. I love them so much. And I said, no, you can't do that. You've got to respect dogs. If you see a dog and you want to pet the dog, you first need to ask the human owner and handler of that dog, may I pet your dog? And they have to give you permission. And if they say no, then you respect it. And I said, sometimes a dog is in training, or they're a working dog, right? And those dogs are not meant to have the same level of interaction. So you're not meant to be petting those dogs.
Working dogs are trained to perform
Alexa,
for a specific purpose.
Stop. Gigi, is that you knocking on the door? How can I help you? Yes, ma'am.
This is the zapper for Zeus.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. But why do I need this?
Because we're going to be gone for a couple hours, I guess.
Oh, okay. If he starts barking, thank you. Speaking of dogs. Miss Stacy can bring Zeus in the studio if she wants. So yeah, I mean, listen, it's just, I'll tell Miss Stacy she can let Zeus in the studio. Yeah. So, you've got to be responsible. That's really what it comes down to. Too many of you are completely irresponsible pet owners, and it really is disturbing when I have to see it. That video is disturbing. The one with the baby in the yes, ma'am. Hi, Zeusy.
You walk her.
Okay. Hi, Zeus. The one with the bigger dog in the hello, sir. He's gonna just lie down here. He's so sweet. The one with the bigger dog as well, in the bed with the baby. All of these are very, very irresponsible people who clearly don't understand the dangers that they are putting their own children in. If I find that one, I'll show it to you guys, but very, very irresponsible again. Oh my goodness. Anyway, folks, do better, please. Begging you. For the sake of the poor dogs and your children, please do better. I thought I had saved that video, but anyway, I'll see if I can find it another time. Yeah, totally irresponsible. Okay. All right, RD, good morning. Sophia, I gotta make sure I don't step on Zeus. He likes to sit like lie right under me a lot of times. RD says there's nothing funny about that video. On top of that, that just shows the lack of judgment and sense of the adult in the room. This is a recipe for future disaster. I think that was already disastrous. I mean, that was horrific to see what that little baby was doing to the dog. And it's not like the dog intentionally bit him. Like I said, the puppy is a puppy. He's like a baby. You know what I'm saying? He's still nipping. And that's, one of the reasons why you want to try to leave dogs with the litter until about 12 weeks or even longer if you can, is when they nip at like their parents, the mom, and they nip at siblings, those in that environment, there's corrective action that is carried out immediately to teach them that nipping is not okay. Nipping is not good. You'll find that most dogs that have a severe nipping problem, it is because they were removed from the litter too quickly. And they never learned the corrective behavior from the litter that, you should not be engaging in. And same thing with cats. Even if you have cats, I'm not a cat person. But cats, you don't allow them to be laying all over the baby and doing all kind of stuff like that either. I don't know what to say, but y'all need to do better. Please, begging you to do better by the poor dogs and cats out there. All right. So yes, those of you who might just be joining the program, there is an issue on radio. We suspect that it actually might be at the tower. So it's probably not going to be something that they're going to be resolving anytime soon. But, they'd have to physically send someone out to the tower, I guess, and restart it or whatever. Maybe the weather or the lightning took it out. All right. Yeah, I mean, dogs are cute and everything. But, you've got to be responsible when you own them. And they can be a lot of work. And there are some dogs who will not be children friendly ever. And, I've seen situations where unfortunately a parent has to choose between a dog and a child and, who's going to get chosen, right? Well, for some of you, it might be the dog. You'd be like, get rid of this baby. But seriously, it's always going to be the child. And, sometimes it just means that the dog has to be rehomed. And hopefully they can have a good home where it doesn't really, have any children in the home. But, I'm an animal lover, and I'm so glad that I'm trying to teach my daughter how to be respectful of animals and, at the same time, showing them lots of love and care and attention. She already loves every dog. She's like, oh, I love them. She actually says sometimes that she wishes that she was a dog. She's like, Mom, can I be a dog? And I was like, no, that's not how that works. And, that's because she sees dogs around here anyway, getting treated in the best possible way. And I love that. I love that, we are a family that is completely committed to loving. Zeus, hello. Come say hi to everybody. Come. Hold on. Let me pick up Mr. Zeus here. Hello, Zeusy. I see you. Come here. Oh, somebody's getting a little heavy these days. Somebody's putting on some weight. Hi. Hold on. Oh, Lord. Yeah, say hi. Say hello, everybody. How are you guys doing? Hello. Hi. Zeus is actually getting his adult teeth now. I think they've pretty much come in. Maybe one or two. I've never... that was a big yawn, sir. You're supposed to be able to... one of the things that any good vet will tell you is that as an owner, you should be able to look at your dog's teeth and even put your hand in their mouth if you wish to do so without them getting aggressive towards you. Like, you have to teach them very, very young. Like, let me look at your teeth. See? They're coming in. You still got the baby ones up at the top. I noticed some of them are still there. But you don't ever want dogs to get aggressive when you try to look at their teeth and stuff like that. So you have to start them young doing things like this so that it's normalized for them. He doesn't think I'm trying to do something to him just because I'm looking at his teeth. And he's very, very, he's generally, he's generally an extremely calm dog. He's still a puppy. He's only 6 months old. So he does get, listen, if I put him on his back, right? And I hold him kind of like a little baby, this dog will literally fall asleep in this position right in my arms. Like, I don't have to do much. He's going to just start sleeping. You'll notice him. Watch when his eyes start to doze off. He loves comfort, honey chill. He's just the sweetest little thing ever. Right, Zuzi? Just like this, he'll just start sleeping. So anyway, he's a ball of fur. We need to take you to the groomer's chair. But he's getting fixed this week. This is another thing that I want to talk about. His little gonads are in. Y'all can see them right there. on full display. Zeus, sorry, but we're gonna air you out. You see him right there? Right there. Yeah. So they dropped, even for when he was 4 months, the vet can feel them, and you got to make sure they both drop. So now they're obviously there. And he started last week trying to hump people. And he's not humping me, which is interesting. He's only humping Marlon's leg. And he tried to hump Gigi, and she's like, what's he doing? So we had to tell him, oh, he's just dancing. It's just a crazy dance. But I don't want to have to explain this to my 7-year-old. She's not ready for any conversation like that, right? But anyway, you get them fixed, the sooner the better. Number one, it discourages bad behavior like humping and aggressive behavior and marking of territory and all this kind of stuff that dogs get into. They have a much better temperament when they're not out there trying to chase down half the neighborhood because nature calls. So he's got an appointment to get fixed this week. High five, Zeus. Say high five, mama. Phew, high five. We're getting fixed. Yay. Caribbean people, stop your nonsense about when a dog gets fixed. Oh, you're taking away his manlyhood. He's not a man. He's a dog, first of all. And nobody not taking away his manlyhood. They live longer. They don't get certain diseases, certain cancers, testicular cancer and other stuff. It is much better for dogs, both, he's putting his face up to Mike, both male and female, to actually get them spayed or neutered. So I have always been an advocate of this for your pets. Make sure that you get it done. Spay, neuter your dogs. It is the responsible thing to do as a pet owner. You know, people always used to look at Coco. Oh, she was so adorable. Can I mate with her? And I said, no, she's fixed. Don't get no ideas. And some people will steal your dogs because they think that they're not fixed and they want to be able to backdoor breed them. So spaying and neutering your dogs makes them less attractive to thieves as well. All this backyard breeding and overbreeding these poor puppies, it's just ridiculous. So this is Zeus. He's so cute. I love his coloring in his ears and stuff. So adorable. All right. Okay, Zeus, say bye to everybody. So I'm going to get back down on the ground where I belong. Say toodaloo, CMR folks. Y'all be good. Say hello, honey child. Hello, honey child. Hello, honey child. All right, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. I keep my little wipes in here, honey chia. Child, you know when you have dogs too with this weather and they go outside, you got to keep a doggy towel by the front door and be wiping off their paws. And I try to, Gigi's always like, oh, can he come in bed with me? And I was like, oh, Lord, I know she just loves him so much. But, you have to teach her boundaries and stuff too, right? So Marlon's like, no, he was just outside. I said, Gigi, he is an indoor dog, but he does have to walk outside and we let him run up and down in the backyard. He spends some time outside, right? So, wipe off his paws, try to keep him as clean as possible. He's still a dog. And really and truly, you shouldn't have dogs in your bed. But I know some of y'all just love to have a dog in your bed, rolling and rumpling with you. But at least, keep them clean if you're going to be doing all that. Alejandro says, when it comes to children, they're the most important flesh vehicles that need 100% of your time, of your thinking to survive such a priceless responsibility. He says cats are the worst because they have sharp claws the day they're born. Yeah, I've never been much of a cat person, I got to tell you. Although I think we had a cat when I was really, really young. And I remember the cat shredding everything. And that's probably why I'm not much of a cat person. So Ms. Marjorie, the birthday was good. Thank you so much. We'll get to the home invasion here in a second. Pam, coming right up. Thank you, Soka. She says he's so cute. She's an animal lover like myself. And she always used to bite Coco. I'll never forget. Thank you so much, Soka, for always being so kind. Every time I'd go to Miami, she'd always have a little present for Coco to give me. Christmas, no reason, birthdays, everything. Coco's always full of toys and presentry. Present tree, not pleasantry. I said that on purpose. Yeah, he is super, super cute. All right, so let's talk about this home invasion situation, shall we? Thank you, Magdalene, doing the right thing. Got those dogs fixed. Appreciate it. So on Saturday morning, I woke up to a message from a homeowner A fatal crash. Where is that? When was that? I woke up to a message from a homeowner saying that they had someone who kicked down the door of their home and put a gun in their face. Now, first of all, this is shocking that I can't even imagine what that must feel like. I mean, this is just absolutely ridiculous. It seems like what is going on here, this is somebody who definitely knows these people. This does not feel like a random situation. They seemed very, very keen on getting the jewelry, which was apparently the son has a big chain or necklace or something, and the bracelets off of the young man. And it occurred to me that the way in which it happened, they apparently came from like around the side of the house. It was two of them. They were armed with a gun. The son and father outside having a smoke saw these people coming towards them, ran inside the house, closed the door, and the guys came and kicked in the door. So this feels targeted. I mean, if this was detective class, 101, I would say you people know these people, and you need to think about who has a beef with you, who has been envious of your necklace and has wanted to steal it for a minute. Because clearly this is a home invasion is what it is. And these are people who came with a specific intent in mind. Who knew that you had that necklace? Well, I mean, some of y'all walk around with these necklaces all the time. There was a time in Cayman, back in the 80s and probably early 90s, mid 90s, Caymanians love a good chain. And I've seen some amazing ones. I actually used to have one that was like a pendant that was an emerald, and those thieves at Cash Wiz when I was working for them took it. Well, we're not gonna get into that one. But I've seen some amazing coins that are like diamonds and emeralds, and I mean off the chain crazy. In Cayman, you can kind of still walk around and feel relatively safe. I guess it depends on, depends on when and where you are, right? Would I be walking at 2:00 in the morning with a big diamond necklace and chain down 7 Mile Beach, West Bay Road, anywhere? Probably not. I hate to say it, but we're not that safe anymore. A lot of thieves are opportunists. So they see you looking flashy, and it's like, here they come. I don't even wear jewelry like I used to anymore. I'm not a huge jewelry person. So some people have like a ring on every finger and all these necklaces and whatever. That's really not me, but I get that some people like that kind of vibe, whatever. And you kind of make yourself an easy target sometimes when you're a little bit too flashy with your stuff, although you're just trying to enjoy it, right? You've worked hard, you bought it. You should be able to wear it and enjoy it. It's so sad that we've come to a time now where that really, oh Lord, I don't know. But here, okay. All right, so here's a few recommendations that I would make. Number one, you always want to catalog the most important things that you own, and that includes your jewelry. Okay? This is a bit of practical advice. I'm going to tell y'all something, because after Hurricane Ivan, I became aware of how many people lost stuff that they didn't have backups for, They didn't have, photos of. There was just like so much stuff that they lost, and they just didn't have a way of categorizing it in any way. There are software. There's one that I used to use. It might still be around. I don't even know. I actually haven't used it in a while, but it is home inventory software. And it allows you to like scan receipts. So when you purchase something, you take photos, you can put in a description, you can do, I'm going to see if I can find that specific one, because that one was actually really, really good. But there are others out there that I'm sure work well and that you can, utilize probably just as well. There's some that are like phone based. Here's one that's an app that's based on your phone. You can put the location of it, where it's located. Trying to think where else. But go check these out, because they actually work really, really well. You can put the price that you paid for it, what the value of it is, the purchase date. Here's one that integrates with iOS devices. Called, what's this one called? Oh, it says this one's no longer available for sale after 17 years. Oh, that's too bad. So there are a couple that are out there that you can definitely check out. Let me see if I can find one. There's a company that oh gosh, I'm trying to remember. Let me see. I think they did a home inventory. Anyway, I'll try to find it and I'll share with you guys. But you need to have one of these as an option that you can actually organize like all of your products and stuff like that. In the event that something happens, sometimes it's not a theft, it's a loss or whatever. You can still, let me see here, products, home inventory. I'll try and see if I can find it. Yeah, so you can organizer. Let's see if I can find. Can't remember what this one was called. It was actually pretty good. I don't know if they still have it though. They may not. I don't know. But anyway, it was one of those. I was trying to see. Maybe I'll check in my email, because I know at some point I actually owned it, and I would put all my stuff in there. But you can scan receipts. You can put, like I said, purchase date of items, everything. It's all in there, and it's good. It's worth having something like that. In the event that you lose it, it's stolen, you can show the police, this is what it looks like. Anybody try to sell it, you can show it to all the pawn shops, put the word out there. Hey, this is my item. Post it on social media so that people can be on the lookout for it, because anybody who steals something like that, there's two things that they're going to do with it. Number one, they're going to pawn it. And you want to get to the pawn shops immediately once this happens, because when they're trying to pawn your stuff, what their intention is to get a quick buck, right? So they don't care about it. They don't want to keep it. They just want to, trying to see if I can complete asset inventory. They just want to offload it as quickly as possible. So what you need to ensure that you do is that, as soon as you possibly can, right? You get the word out there. This is stolen. If you see this item, call the police immediately. And then the police are able to reach out to the relevant authorities and get you, get your goods back. Or if somebody walks in with it, they know exactly what's going on. I need to look for my archived items. I don't think I have them on this computer. That's another computer. All right. And then the other thing is they may want to just, sell it on the street. So they may not be going to a pawn shop. Now they're getting kind of hot at the pawn shops because, again, if people contact them They're getting smarter, especially with iOS devices and stuff. You can't just go in there and pawn a phone anymore. They want you to unlock it to prove that you actually own it. You know, if you steal somebody's iPhone and you can't unlock it because you don't have the proper credentials, the pawn shop isn't going to take that phone because they're going to be like, why can't you unlock this phone if it's actually yours? Because people pawn any and everything that they can get their hands on. Yeah. And so, you know, you've just got to be very, very vigilant, folks, about this sort of thing. So I encourage all of you to have some sort of a contingency plan in place, migration required, about how you're going to help yourself if you find yourself in this sort of a situation. Having a photo of these items is really, 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 really an important thing to have in place. Yes? Okay. Let me also show you guys something. I'm just trying to locate, if I can. I have all of my stuff archived. You know, even emails, honey child, you gotta be archiving stuff because you never know. Somebody come back to you about an email that's like 50 million years old claiming X, Y, and Z. You gotta be ready, honey child. Like, wait a minute, that's not what happened. Let me tell you how it really go. Morning, caller. Hello? Caller? Are you there? Hello. Hi. Good morning.
Hello, Sandy.
Hi, honey.
Dexter here. Is there something wrong with the radio? Because I tried to get it.
Yeah, they're having some kind of technical difficulties. Apparently, it's off air. So it might be the rain or something took out the tower, and they might have to manually send somebody out there.
It wasn't the rain. It was the lightning and thunder.
Wow. Yeah.
My dogs are going crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, we suspect that that's maybe what it is. But you can listen on Facebook or YouTube.
Oh, okay. And I got one joke for you.
Mm-hmm.
At my age, getting lucky means walking into a room and remember what I came in there for.
Trust me, I can believe that.
Marriage is a relationship where one person is always right and the other person is the husband. This officer stopped this man. And he says, "You can't find me for talking while driving." It was my wife. I was only listening.
You only.
So he was done.
Yeah.
If women ruled the world, there would be no wars. Just a bunch of jealous countries not talking to each other.
Oh, that's a low blow, Dexter.
Sometimes
oh my gosh. Yeah.
Oh,
that's funny.
I hope somebody's laughing about my jokes.
Yeah. No, they're funny. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Okay, you have a wonderful day.
All right, honey, you too.
Okay, bye.
Yeah, I can kind of relate now to walking into the room. Sometimes you're like, what did I come in here for again? I can't even remember. Exit. Yeah. Anyway, absolutely. I would say that okay. I'm still trying to find this this software for you guys to tell you which one it is. I know I've got it somewhere. Oh, is it on this computer? Yeah, this date's a while back now. This file was last modified 2013. Whew. I haven't oh yeah, see it here? I tell y'all, I can always find stuff, child. Give me a second now. Yes, okay, hold on. Let me see if I can find it. I think this was it. Like I said, they probably don't even make this software anymore. All right, let me see if I can find it. Yeah, this is it. Might be outdated though, but explore some options. But I would highly recommend this, because it's one of those things that you don't recognize you need it until you need it. Home inventory software. You can keep track of like computers, you can record things like serial numbers, all that sort of stuff. Yeah. Yeah, let me see if I can find it. Yeah, this is pretty old. Like I said, they might have, but I liked it, although it was older. I did really like it, and I don't know if they still make it or not. Info updated August 12th. Yeah, I don't know if they still make this or not. But check it out. It's still old, 2011. It's too bad, because you wish that these developers would continue to make products, but after a while, they kind of like, they don't support it anymore. But this was manage your household assets, calculate the value of everything you own, categorize your assets for easy searching, add an unlimited number of images, create an unlimited number of locations and items. So you could specify where the item is actually kept. You could even add video to inventory items and locations. You could link to files. You could upload your receipts, upload manuals, warranties. I mean, it was such a great concept, to be honest. I'm a little bit disappointed that it may no longer be around, because it was well worth it. Software is just one of those things, boy, I tell you what, it's a thing of the past almost. I mean, you still have software in your computer, but here's one: home inventory. This is estate planning, track your vehicles, boats, and RVs. But it was just a great way to keep all of your stuff together. I'll see if I can find a current version of it. I will let you guys know. Here's one that's my database, home and business. Let me see what this one is. This one is import contacts and more. No, this is different. Insurance forms, create reports. This has a home inventory tracking element to it. I'd have to look a little bit more closely at this one. But anyway, I'll try to explore this a bit more and tell you guys if I can find anything that might be still useful. Okay. A lot of times people will have stuff stolen, and I'm always shocked and surprised. They'll like send something and they'll be like, oh, I only have like one photo of me wearing it. I found myself in this situation as well. I'm like, listen, if you're going to have a chain that is worth $2,000, $5,000, $10,000, by gosh darn it, you got a phone on you, take a photo of it, folks, and make sure any like specific marks, have all of that stuff written down. So when the police come to you and say, oh, this person just stole my necklace, or I've even lost it, here's distinguishing features of it. It had a particular lock. I don't know if David is listening this morning, but David will be able to tell you guys that one of the amazing things that you can do is you can actually have him engrave your stuff. I have the little Cayman coat of arms pendant. On the back, it's engraved with my name. So if you steal it, unless your name is Sandra Hill, honey child, it's not going to do you much good. And it's important to do things like that sometimes. Maybe you don't want to pull the full name. You just want to put like an initial. And, if you find it, then oh, yeah, this person has my stuff. Yeah, this software was so good. I'm sad to see it's currently not available. Wow. I don't know what happened to this company, but it was old. I probably still have my license around here somewhere. Oh, it's too bad they're not maintaining it anymore, it looks like. Anyway, that's always a good idea. Now I'm going to show you guys some photos of the current items that were stolen in this particular situation that we're talking about here now. So maybe you might be able to identify them. I would highly recommend that if you see anybody trying to pawn this stuff on the streets right now, contact the authorities. So again, unfortunately, if this is the best photo that they have, it's not really the best photo. Like, you need a picture of the back and front of just the pendant, right? And then details of the chain. What kind of link is it? You know, David with his engraving machine can put your initials anywhere on that the person who steals it might not even know. But if it's ever recovered, the police will also be able to say to 100% certainty that that's your item because it is actually engraved. So go and check David. If you've got important stuff, you know, speak to David about how you can have things engraved and marked for the purposes of identification. And I think there might be some engraving options that also mean that you can, you know, almost like a magic engraver where they don't see it except with like under certain light or whatever. So here is, I'm assuming they got both of these bracelets as well. So again, if you're anybody out there right now trying to pawn these two particular bracelets, you know, these are hot goods, folks. Don't take it for drugs nor money, because you're going to be, you know, caught up in a case of handling stolen goods. All right. But help yourself, folks, by making sure that you're categorizing your stuff. Alejandro. Oh, yes, we're going to come to the fatal. It's not a new fatal incident. It's one that happened a couple of years ago, but we're going to talk about it this morning as well. All right, you guys talking about. Good morning, Miss Aline. Evelyn says the pawn shop needs to start asking for receipts. Well, I've always said that unfortunately the pawn shop has encouraged a certain degree of thievery in this community that really and truly, folks, did not exist before. But because they're willing to give some, listen, if you steal something from somebody else and you get even a quarter of the price of the value, because the pawn shop is never giving you the full value for anything or even close to it, right? Because their policy is if you don't pay up and you don't reclaim it or whatever, they're going to have to sell it, and they're going to have to sell it for market value, and it's a used item. So the value of it might not be what you purchase it for. It just depends on the quality and so on. So they will undoubtedly, you know, give you rock bottom dollar for it. But still, if a necklace is worth thousands of dollars, you could get a little $500-$600 for it. And if you are somebody who's broke, you know, or you're on drugs or whatever, $500-$600 is like winning the lotto to you. You are like a pig in mud. You are so happy. Yes. Happy as can be. And if you had a receipt, it would be good. But like I said, most people don't keep receipts. So, you know, even if it's legitimately yours, you may not have a receipt for it. But the pawn shop does a good idea of, they take people's IDs. You have to go in there with a government issued ID. They're going to take a photo of you. They are going to photograph the items and stuff as well. So taking it to the pawn shop comes with a certain degree of risk. They have cameras. They're recording people in there. So if you pick up a stolen item and you take it to the pawn shop and then the police get a hold of it, I can tell you in this day and age, the pawn shop is definitely going to be assisting the police with the recovery of those items. They will hand over the information. The only thing you have to be careful with, and I don't know if the pawn shop is still doing this or not, but one of the things that the pawn shop is in the business of doing is melting down gold. So all these big pieces, it's not the pieces that are valuable to the pawn shop. It's actually the gold itself. So what that means is you want to make sure that once again, whoever owns like those bracelets that we just showed you, you get to the pawn shop today. Well, you should have been there from Saturday when it happened. But at the very, very minimum, you get there today. You send out the photos. You said, hey, we're looking for these stolen goods. They could be a hot commodity. Right? And the pawn shop will know that if anybody walks in there trying to pawn those items, they're to call the police immediately. The second you walk in there, you're being recorded. So that's the best advice I could give you about that situation. But I think this was definitely targeted. And not only were the individuals targeted, but these thieves seem to have known exactly what they were after. So there's some hot jewelry on the streets today, folks. Anybody that you see wearing that necklace or those bracelets, call the RCIPS immediately. Debbie says, my husband got a pendant stolen and his son saw it at the pawn shop and told his dad. We went to the pawn shop, reported. The guy who stole it was called and given the chance to buy it back and return it, or we would call the police. We got it back. Well, Debbie, I got to tell you the truth. You should never allow anyone to buy it back or return it like that. He should have gone to jail and you would have still gotten your necklace back. But people like that need to be stopped. Those types of thieves don't just stop because, you called and like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm caught red-handed. The police needed to deal with him. He should be spending some time in jail and he should have a record for being a thief, which is exactly what he is. I know it's tempting to always take the shortcut of, you know what, I just want my stuff back. Just give me my stuff back and I'll walk away. A lot of people feel that way, but I'm telling you in the long run, unfortunately, it is not a helpful situation to put yourself in that predicament. The best way to do it is to go through the process, deal with the police, and have them actually, arrest the person, detain the person. Like I said, eventually you'll get your stuff back as well. So, yeah, it's crazy though when someone comes into your house and they actually, they actually put a gun to your face. I mean, I cannot even imagine what that must feel like. That's a very, very scary situation. And this is a different level. This is a home invasion. This isn't just a theft. This is a home invasion. And I would suggest, we try to get these people off the street as quickly as possible. All right. If you have any information, help the police out. Okay. Let's talk about the next matter here. Good morning. Darlene says the shop may have a time frame before they melt it down. Well, I'll tell you what, they were melting stuff down very, very quickly. I used to work for the parent company over there, and boy, they used to do some shenanigans that made me shake my head. They would actually melt down those pieces very, very quickly. And I think that was one of the issues that the police was having with them. Michael says the pawn shop wanted me to buy my stuff back. The police took 2 weeks to pick up my stuff. Go through the process with the police, because the pawn shop in those types of situations, they're losing money, you see. So of course they want you to buy it back from them because they've just taken stolen goods. And here's the thing with the pawn shops. A lot of times they know a certain person comes in. They know that that person can afford that. They know that person's on drugs or whatever, and they're a hitter, or that they're always bringing in stolen goods. There should be some people that pawn shop should have as a persona non grata, because, they know their history and they should not be accepting any sort of item from them at all, because they know what they're up to. Ay, ay, ay. Anyway, unfortunately, this happens so often. Oh. Anyway. You see her. Somebody just sent me an email. Okay. All right. So, yeah, don't ever buy it back from the pawn shop. I would never recommend that. Let the police handle it, and they will eventually make them hand it back over to them, because it is stolen goods, and it becomes part of a case then, right? Lord Jesus. He says he went through the process, took over 12 months to get my stuff back from the police. Yeah, because once it's a matter of stolen property, then they have to let the case take its course, and it has to be identified in court, and this, that, and the next thing. And yeah, I could understand why that is the way that it is. Miss Margie's trying to sell a Rolex watch. Okay. I can't tell you what to do there. Put it in EK trade, Miss Marjorie. That's your best bet if you're trying to sell something. Are people into Rolex watches still? Are they still a thing? To me, they were always so overpriced. Lord Jesus. All right. Let's take a quick commercial break, folks. We'll be right back after these messages.
I'm Heather Bodden, MP for Savannah and a lifelong advocate for the environment. Illegal dumping is a crime, so please take civic pride in our home and put litter where it belongs. If you see someone littering, report it to the Department of Environmental Health on 949-6696.
Be a part of the solution, not the pollution. Littering is a crime punishable by a $500 fine or 6 months in prison. Brought to you by the Beautification Task Force and Ministry of Tourism and Ports.
Hi, I'm Leah Archibald. I graduated from UCCI with a bachelor's degree in business administration, and now I have my master's degree from Nottingham Trent University in the UK. I chose to study local and go far. Right now, UCCI is accepting applications for their fall 2023 semester. Do you want to study local and go far? You can, with a world-class university right here at your doorstep. To learn more, visit ucci.edu.ky. Classes start August 28th.
STEPS participant, if you're wondering why the STEPS team can't get your blood sugar or cholesterol data directly from your doctor, the answer is simple. Your personal medical information is private and confidential. This is why we need you to participate in Step 3, so that we can collect the data we need with your informed consent. So please say yes to Step 3. For more information, call the STEPS team 936-4969.
For 20 years, we've committed to helping the people of the Cayman Islands live longer, healthier, and happier lives. But healthcare and the expectations of patients are rapidly evolving, and so must we. We have made incredible clinical and technological advancements and achieved JCI accreditation, the internationally recognized gold seal of approval for patient safety and quality of care. So it's time for our image to reflect our transformation from a local hospital to a world-class healthcare authority, with a new logo that symbolizes national duty and pride, a statement that reinforces our commitment to our patients every step of the way, with colors as bold as our mission to provide the highest quality healthcare. Dynamic, professional, skilled, committed, caring. This is HSA.
Meanwhile, at the Burger King's castle. Underling, what news?
Sire, behold, the fiery jalapeno cheese!
You might say it's jalapeno.
Please don't, sire. It's jalapenos with spicy cream cheese sauce and American cheese.
And it's jalapeno?
Please, sire.
Introducing the new fiery jalapeno cheese at Burger King. Flame grilled patties covered in jalapenos, spicy creamy cheese sauce, and American cheese. Available in extra long and king size for a limited time only. Grab it late at 7 Mile Beach or Red Bay. Open till midnight Thursdays and 1 a.m. Fridays and Saturdays.
It's jalapeno face.
Ocean Ridge Heights offers an amazing opportunity to own a piece of land in idyllic Cayman Brac. right on the bluff, starting from $80,000. Located in a quiet residential area with high elevation, these lots are ideal for a future home or investment property and are sure to go fast. Cayman Brac offers a laid-back lifestyle, amazing pristine diving, limestone caves, diverse flora, along with amazing wildlife. Inquire about the owner financing options so that you can secure your piece of paradise today. With only a few lots remaining, these are sure to go before you know it. Contact Crichton Properties today on 345-949-5250 or info@crichtonproperties.com.
Recover Personal Injury Attorneys, helping injured people get what they deserve. Did you know that insurance companies have lawyers that represent their interests? Before signing and accepting any settlement, know your rights. Call us today for a free consultation at 924-9999. That's 924-9999. Recover. Your personal injury attorneys are on standby to assist.
All right, folks, welcome back to the program. I was trying to actually find a number for someone, but it seems like the number we have been given is not a working number. Yeah, the number doesn't work. Okay. Working on a few things for you here today. All right. Alejandro says, what a waste of time. They could have solved that for you because it was reported stolen items. Yeah, that's not how, I mean, listen, there is a process. And I think with stolen items that are subsequently recovered, until the case is over and the court actually determines the fate of, there's an identification process that has to happen in court with the stolen items. And I think the police have to have those items available to them. So I do not believe they are in a position to just hand it back to you until the case is actually over with. And so there's some logistical issues with it. That just means that they might have to hold on to it for a bit. All right. So that is what it is. Oh, yes. Thank you, Gabby. I want to make this announcement. Of course, the radio isn't on, but if you want a prize on Friday as part of the birthday celebrations, any of the gift certificates, the cameras I have, I'll get those to those two individual winners. But the birthday prizes, the gift certificates, actually, you want to go by the DMS broadcasting station. They are there with your phone number on them. So go by and give them your number. Some of you in your names that might have your name and number, but at the very minimum, it has the number that called in to actually win the prize. So yeah, go by DMS. It's right there on Sound Road, right next to the BMW dealership. The car wash is next to that. So that DMS broadcasting reception should have it there for you. Natasha says, who provides appraisals? I don't know. I think for insurance purposes, there might be one or two people on island that actually do it. And this is the other thing too. If you purchase expensive jewelry, you should get like an official appraisal done. I have, one or two pieces where they came in from the States, and with the company that we ordered it from was a custom piece. They actually provided the quality of the diamond, what it is, the value of it. They provided all of the appraisal documentation, everything that you can then keep for your records, and make sure you keep those things in a safe place. And you also scan those items. So in the event something happens to that physical document, you have a electronic copy at least available. That's really, really important as well. So yeah, you always got to have these things backed up, right? And keep your files and stuff. Last week I was kind of chuckling with you guys on Thursday when I was going off in the RCIPS, talking about how I don't really keep things like on a physical hard drive. Everything is located in a cloud somewhere. So, you know, the RCIPS comes around me with their foolishness. I just lock down everything. And you can have the physical computer. You still ain't getting jack shit from me. We're not on radio, right? We're still not on radio. You ain't getting nothing from me, right? It's all in the cloud somewhere, and you're not going to get access to those accounts. That's not how this can work, honey chill, right? One push of a button, all of my emails disappear from anything local. You can have all the phones in the world you want. That's not going to help you because none of that information is kept. And people have instructions now that anything happens to me, please come and arrest me. You lock everything down immediately. You don't give them nothing. So they can come confiscate all the physical items that they want in the world. It isn't going to help them. You have to have a plan in place, honey chill, because these trifling fools be trying you. So all of your documents and stuff like that, keep them in cloud locations stored outside of this jurisdiction. And it's not that easy for the RCIPS to just be rolling up on people. I feel like here it's so much easier for them to do. Just roll up on Flow or Digicel, whoever, and be like, oh, we have a search warrant. Tell them to go and try and serve that search warrant overseas and see what can happen. Be a step ahead of them. Be smarter than them, folks. Because they think they smart. Yes. Awesome. In terms of the jewelry here, this person says they came from Diamond Marquise and it took almost 9 months to pay for them. He works hard. He loves jewelry. He's so traumatized right now. We don't even want to go outside. I'm now installing a ring system. Never thought my beautiful Cayman would come to this. Folks, you want to install more than just a little door ring camera. You need to get floodlight cameras that are high up above your property. They record audio. They record video. Listen, we're like Fort Knox around here. I hear video conversations happening around my house all the time. You want to keep your privacy? You do not come to my house and stand outside and have a conversation because my cameras are picking that up and they're recording, and all of that is being saved in the cloud overseas. Folks, I hate to tell you, Cayman is not what it used to be, and we all have to take safety precautions. Speak to a safety expert. Just sad. Mr. Arlene said, did Mr. Peter from the RCIPS reply to your rant the other day? I think he knows better, but in all frankness, the RCIPS has requested a meeting for us to sit down and discuss these things to get back on track, they said, the commissioner. I appreciate the commissioner having more sense than Peter in trying to broker a meeting. I'll have my lawyer handle that, but I told him last week, no thanks. What I will say, however, is you see, that's the kind of thing that Peter should have done beforehand. He should have requested a meeting with me and we could sit down and talk about it. What you don't do is you don't send me an email insulting me with ridiculous comments and threats and then think that it's just going to go so, because y'all saw my response last week. And believe me when I tell you, my response was still very much tempered. I know y'all think, oh my God, the message I got over the weekend, girl, Sandy, you put them in your place. I love it. But I at no point was I out of control. You know, I want y'all to be very, very clear, so clear. Just because I'm popping off with a few words, that don't mean I'm out of control. I'm very, very cognizant and very much in control and only said what I wanted to say. And just because what I wanted to say included a few words that you don't hear me using all the time, there's no need for no excitement around. Yeah. You know, and no, we won't be having that every week either. Those are reserved for special people like Peter. We'll make him special. Dean says, yeah, even the bad guys are using the cloud. Well, I don't want to say too much about how sometimes they be tripping themselves up in court, but let's just say that a lot of these cases in this day and age are now being solved thanks to the chat conversations that they're having with each other. Because one thing about phones, they are recording everything that you're doing. And so when you're planning the next robbery and telling people to meet you here, there, and everywhere, and you go in a location, your phone is pinging off these cell phone towers, you be setting yourself right up. Yeah. And the cameras that do work for government are also recording and catching you going to carry out your acts. Okay. Let me talk about this next situation here, which is very, very egregious. Gosh, we got so many egregious situations this morning, but let me be very, very clear. I need to talk about this because I think that Caymanians seem to take a position with DUIs and causing death by dangerous driving. If it's not your loved one, I don't think you're too perturbed about it and you don't really care. And I think that that's quite unfortunate because the God's honest truth is taking somebody's life by vehicular homicide, whilst it might have been an accident, and I use that term very, very, very loosely. Marshall says, I'm going to have Peter send you another email to get you out of character again. Let's not say out of character. Let's just say another part of my character that is reserved for people like Peter. Don't tell him, don't email me, don't, I wouldn't recommend it. So when it comes to vehicular homicides, I do feel like a lot of you are very kind of like nonchalant about it. Yeah, you're like, oh, I don't care, blah, blah, blah. That's because it's not your loved one. The people who are impacted by this are the children that are left behind, the parents that are left behind, the siblings that are left behind, the cousins, all these people. You know how many people that have lost their lives on Cayman's roadways? That if that was to be tallied up into murder category, it would be a lot of people. We would have a high murder rate. And in my mind, when you get behind the wheel of a car and you do something like you drink and drive or whatever, and you take somebody's life, how is it any less than taking a gun and shooting that person? I mean, the intent might not have been that obvious or that direct, I guess, but it's still a form of homicide. You still killed somebody, right? It's no less traumatic, folks, for the family members of the people left behind. And so when I read comments on social media where you all are like, oh, well, at least he pled guilty. Is that supposed to make anybody feel better? Do you really think that because he's pled guilty all these years later, I'm going to tell y'all what case we're talking about here, because this young man has pled guilty all these years later, you think that's going to bring her back? That's going to make her family feel any better? No. Well, all that's going to mean is that he's going to get a 1/3 reduction in his sentence and he'll spend even less time in jail. It's ridiculous. 2 years later, you got to talk about you going to plead guilty and the court is still going to give you the benefit of a reduction. Like, oh yeah, you're sorry. Well, you're sorry not bringing this poor nurse back, dude. Okay. Now, I don't know this young man. I don't know who Kelsey Ebanks is. I have no clue who he saw. I don't know who his mom is. He could very well be my cousin. I'm telling y'all now. I'm related to all the Ebankses out of West Bay, apparently. So we probably family down the line somewhere. But honestly, none of that matters to me. This nurse who has a family has been killed. Her life was prematurely taken. From good grief. Her life was prematurely taken. And her family, including parents and aunts and uncles and whatever, they will never get to spend another Christmas with her, another birthday, nothing. So his guilty plea means little to nothing, as far as I'm concerned. In fact, I think that the reduction, the amount of time that's given for a guilty plea shouldn't even be 1/3. I think it should be less than that. Yeah? Look at this young lady. She had her entire life ahead of her. It took you over 2 years to finally plead guilty? Like, what took you so long? This 32-year-old young lady worked at the HSA in the medical ward. She died in the accident. I think there was a Filipino lady also in the vehicle with her who, sustained severe injuries. Unfortunately, I don't know what her current situation is now. These people have to live with the trauma of that situation, survivor's guilt, and all this sort of stuff. And this young man is going to get a slap on the wrist. He's going to spend little to no time in jail. Yeah. She was actually planning to leave, if my memory serves me correctly, moving back to Arizona. She was actually out that evening, that night, celebrating with some individuals, including one of her coworkers who you see here, who was also injured in the incident. After 10 a.m. on Sunday, May the 23rd, back in 2021, they responded to Series 2 vehicular collision in South Sound in the vicinity of Palm Springs with the Shangang CS75 and a Honda Fit. 5 occupants of the vehicles were injured in the collision. All 5 persons were transported to the hospital. And unfortunately, this young lady was subsequently pronounced dead. Wow. Driver of the vehicle, Kelsey Ebanks Martinez, was arrested on suspicion of causing death by dangerous driving. He was in the hospital at the time. As their investigations continued, wow. Just a really, really, really sad situation. Crossed over into her lane. So this person says, Kiara's younger sibling is still traumatized by her death. She was a friend and an awesome person. Some of the comments were disgusting and very backwards. She was moving to Arizona to start her family. Yes, I think her and her husband, she'd gotten a compliance job or something like that. And her husband were going to be moving there together. The one thing that I want to say is some of you seem hell-bent on making comments on social media on every single post and every single story about every single thing. Sometimes it's better just to keep your mouth shut. Okay? Take it from me. You don't have to comment on every friggin' thing. Family members are reading this and, they don't need to hear your stupid comments about, at least he pleaded guilty. What does that mean? You know what I'm saying? Keep it to yourself. Their loved one is still dead and isn't coming back. And his guilty plea is not going to be useful to them in any way, shape, or form. And I'm disturbed myself, as well as that caller, at the number of comments that I see that clearly are from people who have never lost a loved one to a vehicular incident. This person says, I'm not saying that he should be free, but the fact that he pled guilty should bring comfort to the family that he acknowledged he's wrong. No, that does not bring any comfort to anybody. His guilty plea is not comforting. And you don't need to say that, is my point. Okay? Keep it to yourself. It's not comforting and you don't need to say it. You've never been in this situation. I've never been in this situation. And there's certain things as a result that I simply do not comment on because right now I'm helping a young lady who lost a family member in same situations. That person was drunk driver. They're going to spend just a couple years in jail with bad behavior. 60% of that, practically gets shaved off. And who the hell is that? Somebody died this morning? What the hell? So, it doesn't bring comfort to anybody. You've never experienced it. You don't know what it's like to lose a loved one under such tragic and absolutely ridiculous circumstances. God is going to deal with him. No, we here on earth have to deal with him. He's got to pay for what he did. And he could be the nicest person in the world. I don't really give two hoots about him. He was the one who made some poor decisions that night that cost somebody their life. I'm sorry, but just shut up. Sometimes you just got to keep your mouth shut. You have no idea the trauma that people have to go through once they've lost a loved one in such a tragic way. Oh, God. And it doesn't help. Your comments do not help. Good Lord. Okay. I don't know what to say. You guys need some sensitivity training sometimes. And it really is just better to say nothing. All right. Alejandro says a DUI is reckless because you are impaired. Hello. Damien says it's the same with many politicians. Only when it affects their family, they start changing or updating laws. Who is knocking at my door and why? Yes? Hello? Hi, Gigi. Mommy's working.
We're here for Zeus.
You're here for Zeus? Put him down. He can walk. I keep telling her that the dog has 4 legs. He can walk.
But we need to put his leash on. We're given to walk him.
Oh my goodness. Ms. Moya says they need to change the law to the one in the States that they have now where you cause death by dangerous driving. That person that is responsible has to pay child support if the person that they killed have children, and the child support payments is based on what salary band of the person killed and the quality of life that they're providing for the child. Ms. Moya, I agree with you 1,000%. Now the judges, they seem a little bit, sometimes the magistrates and judges like, oh, well, the person doesn't have any money. And I say, listen to me. Just because they don't have money now doesn't mean that they're never going to have any money. At some point, especially in Cayman, they're going to be out in the matter of a couple years. They will get a job, confiscate assets, make them pay. I agree, Miss Moya. They are leaving children behind, fatherless, motherless, grandparentless, right? Who may have been part of their financial support system. And now these poor children are going to grow up. It's bad enough that they're growing up without a loved one. That's horrific. But they're also going to be growing up without the financial support that would have been there. And I think that this is really, really egregious and completely wrong. So our legislators need to re-look at this area of law. They need to ensure that there are stiffer penalties for causing death by dangerous driving. And on top of it, they also need to pass legislation that forces the judges, because you can't leave it up to them, I hate to tell you, forces them to put a compensation order in place whereby upon the release of the person, and once they become employed, they then start to garnish their wages. I don't care if it's 5-10 years later, at some point, chances are they're going to be able to find employment. And some of them are going to find a really decent employment. And so you make them pay to support these people's children. They have a house, they have other assets. Guess what? Confiscate the assets, sell it off, and make them pay. It's as simple as that. We need to take a no-nonsense approach to these types of vehicular incidents, because on our roadways, we have a record number of fatalities last year. I think we're up to 12 or 13 or some ridiculous number for an island the size of a coconut. Come on now. Get it together. Yeah? And does anybody know this Miss Ilsilda Larrington? She's from, I understand she lives in Cayman Brac. Can somebody please tell this woman, this is going to be her last warning. I don't know who lives in Cayman Brac, who can kindly pass on this message for me. Please tell this woman to stop writing on CMR in caps, because the next time I see her do it, I am going to block her myself. We keep telling her that writing in caps is the equivalent to yelling at somebody. We keep saying, lady, stop it. Is she blind? Is that the problem? Never mind the fact that most of what she says makes no damn sense, and you can't understand what the hell she's talking about. But she adds insult to injury by then putting it in all caps. Miss Ilsilda, please get your shit together, because I never know what you're talking about. She commented. I just started thinking about her because she commented on the post, and this is what she said. Poor her. She's so clueless. She said, woman, if you can't keep up, then, you know, like I said, sometimes it's best just to keep your mouth shut. She says, fact, but I noticed they did not mention his verdict. Why? What verdict? Are you all paying attention? It said the man pled guilty. Do you know what a verdict means? If he pled guilty, there is no verdict. You then go to the sentencing stage. I don't know what do some of y'all, you know. Sure. If you don't understand something, don't make statements like this, like you know what the hell's going on, because clearly you don't. And then again, like I said, she got to put it in all caps, insulting my eyeballs. Let me enlarge it so y'all eyeballs can be insulted too this morning. Do not type in all caps, woman. Stop it. So Jolene says accidents do happen, and it happens very often. Sad. Really? It's not an accident when you're doing stuff like speeding, recklessly driving in South Sound of all places. If there's one place that you should slow down and take your time, it is South Sound, where the roads are so narrow. South Sound should not even be a 2-lane street when you think about it. Because literally people's home properties, their residential properties, are right up against the road. You're going to run into somebody's wall. You're going to run into somebody's, that tree. How many people haven't died running into that tree there in South Sound? How many people haven't ran into that graveyard wall multiple times? They keep having to repair the poor graveyard wall. Even the dead people, sick and tired of you all running into their wall. Now here she come again. Facts. I don't know what she keeps saying facts for, but everything but geez, I'm like, really? Honestly, I deeply felt this for both. For both. She has family mourning for her, while he has his family still mourning for him. He is such a nice young man. Nobody gives a hoot. Let me see if I'm on radio. Am I on radio? Because y'all know I want to pop off with a few words this morning. Nobody cares about him and his family. I'm sorry, but he put himself in this predicament. Nobody else did this to him. You make a poor decision, then it's on you. What do you want people to do? He should feel sorry for his family that he put them in this situation. Oh, good. We're not on radio. Y'all are misplacing your anger and your feelings. People should think about these things beforehand. Sure. Caller, are you trying to get on the radio, honey child? Hold on one second. Hold on. I gotta put you in Bluetooth. Sorry, say that again. You're on radio. Are you trying to get on the radio?
Sorry.
No? I can't hear you. You don't want to be on the radio?
No.
Oh, okay. All right. You'll have to call me back later. All right. That's the phone that's connected to the Bluetooth, but I could only hear his phone dinging. Anyway, I'm not here to present any sympathy for him. Then she says, all I know, our young people are trapped every second of the minute. Shaking my head. What the hell is this woman talking about? Now she says, let's pray for children, male and female worldwide. Biblically, a man that are born of a woman is prone to probe a man. What? Prone to problem? Amen. What the hell are you talking about? Two nice people, one's dead, Miss Elsilda. Oh, y'all are too judgmental. Come off the... Listen to me. Here. But this poor young man can be having a social, mental, physical, and emotional problem. What is the meaning of an accident? Let me respond to her and ask her if she's crazy or she on drugs. Are you on something? Because that's the only way your comments make any sense. Stop it. He makes a bad decision and y'all sitting here giving him sympathy about, oh, was he having social, mental, physical, and emotional problems? Oh, well, if we're going to dig that deep into his problems, as a child, did a dog bite him on his left finger? And maybe that's why he's a bad driver today? Woman, shut your mouth. Y'all don't have no sense. You're making yourselves look stupid. Even if he get a stretch, don't give him his full length of time. You media spectator, Rem, what? Rem? No one know what tomorrow brings. Oh, shut the hell up. Y'all get... Woman. Really? Have you ever had a loved one senselessly killed in such a way? I can't even. The stupidity is beyond me some days, and I really don't have the patience for it. Oh my God. How many times does this woman comment on the same story? Oh my God. And we warned her again. Stop writing caps or you will be blocked. These people laugh and said, I laughed so hard. I was saying the same thing, reading her caps comments. No, sir. She's special, boy. She's on peace. Anyway, Damien says she's been watching CNN for too long. Alejandro says she got it all figured out. Marshall says she needs to come out of the cave, that cave on the Brack, and smell the fresh air and clear her mind. I don't know what the hell's going on, but trust me. Like I said, half the messages don't make no sense. And then the other half, I'm like, huh? Jennifer says accidents will happen. Choose, drink drunk is another thing. Listen, when you're speeding on a road like South Sound, that's a problem. That's not an accident. That is stupidity. Huh? You should be, nobody in their right mind would be doing any kind of speed on South Sound Road. Oh my gosh. Let me see now. This person says, oh, I'm reaching for my glasses and I don't even have them on. This person says, in relation to some of these comments, says that's just to save his effing ass, not for her or her family. Exactly. Yep. His lawyer just tell him to hurry up and plead guilty now, 2 years later. Oh. All right. Good morning. This person says, good morning, Sandra. I hope all is well. I caught a section of your morning show concerning road fatalities in Cayman. Since the death of my brother in 2009 due to road fatality, I'm so sorry. I've kept a record of sorts of the death in Cayman roadways with names and faces to match. It's a lot more impactful when a face goes with the statistical data. My count is 72 persons. Way too much, in my opinion. Wow. Wow. That's shocking. 72 persons since 2009. You know, I do believe that we need to step up our road safety campaigns. And to this person who sent this in, I think that that would be extremely impactful to do messaging around showing the face of these people, because we forget so easily, right? How many people have lost their lives on Cayman roads? And the vast majority of those accidents could have been avoidable. Top 3 things killing you: speed, alcohol, and that's it. There's a combination of those two involved in every single road fatality on this island. Okay, folks, the radio is back on. Thank you so much. We are live on radio. Okay, good stuff. Tell all your old folks, call Granny. Tell her she can tune in now because they're back on the radio, because, you know, she not got social media. The road fatality thing is just really, really unfortunate, to be honest. Very, very sad. I hear even the ocean breeze got coconut on the brack. Lord Jesus. Alejandro says remorse can be an ugly thing. Good morning to our radio listeners. There was a little bit of an issue this morning, technical issue, but I understand that we're back on. She need to go back to Jamal's school. Who's Jamal? So I think there's definitely more that we can do. Tracy says speed kills and a vehicle is like a bullet. You make the decision to press the gas and put others in danger. Which is more scary is that it's a conscious decision, unlike someone who's intoxicated. Well, I think they're both conscious decisions, because if you decide to get intoxicated and then get behind the wheel of a car, you can't not take accountability for that decision either. I mean, which is worse? I don't know. They're equally bad and equally stupid. And when someone's life is taken, you know, the impact is very much the same. Oh, yes, Miss Donna says, don't forget people using the phone while driving. Yep. Driving and texting. That's true, Damien. Marshall says, I lost my cousin to road fatality many years ago in Savannah. 2 drunkards coming from Moringa town. They survived, but he lost his life. So sad. Good morning, Miss Winnie. Garrett says, I believe that there's a chain of coincidences when it comes to any accident. Each link is something that will eventually lead to an accident. Break one of those links and the accident is avoided. Evelyn says, Sandy, you don't know Jamal? Who's Jamal? I don't know. Alejandro says, alcohol doesn't make you unaware. It makes you careless. Well, I guess it depends on how much you've drunk. But again, you have to take accountability for your actions when you're drinking. Right? And if you know that you're going out and you're going to be drinking and some of y'all have no control, You already know going into the situation that you are probably a closet alcoholic or that you always like to drink too much when you go out. Don't even drive. Don't even tempt yourself. Have somebody drop you off. Have a friend take you there, whatever. Do not drink and drive. But you see, drinking impairs your decision-making capability. I understand what Tracy's, I guess, trying to say. But you need to think before you get to that point. Don't wait until you're plastered and then expect yourself to make good decisions. That doesn't make any sense. Right? By then it's too late. Plan ahead. Think ahead. Have a designated driver. Stay home and drink where you don't have to get behind the wheel of a car. Order some pizza. More stop checks during the holidays isn't really the answer. I mean, yes, they're going to pull people over, but how many people get pulled over this week and by next week they're on the same roads doing the exact same thing over and over again? Gareth makes a good point that being fatigued is just as bad as being intoxicated and can be an additional link to the chain of coincidences. I don't think most people here are dying because they're fatigued, however, I must say. It's definitely far worse than that. All right, folks, just an advisory for our radio listeners. If you're just tuning in, please go to, if you want a prize on Friday's show, one of the gift certificates, you can go to DMS Broadcasting and collect those. Miss Susie says Jamal is a school in Jamaica for the illiterate to teach them to read and write. Oh, that's the name of a school. Well, honey, Miss Susie, I had no idea, honey child. That one's new to me. I was like, who's Jamal? I have no idea who Jamal is. I was like, what? Tracy says a DUI is a criminal offense in many countries, not a traffic offense. In this country, unfortunately, it isn't. I think it should be. Perhaps if they make it here, less people would be tempted to drive as they would have a criminal record and lose their jobs. We're going to send that recommendation to the PAC government because I think that's one that they should take up. But you know what is so crazy? Even the other day when they were adjusting the legal limit, a lot of members of the PAC government, including Mr. Saunders and Jay and others, were kicking back that they didn't want to initially support it because apparently a lot of their supporters drink and drive. I'm like, what? You don't want to support lowering the legal limit to be in line with what's accepted in other places, right? To catch people before they're killing others on the roadway because a lot of your constituents would be caught by this legislation. Do y'all hear yourselves sometimes? Do you say this stuff out loud? And does it actually make sense to you? Because I do have to wonder. You see, this is when we say that our legislators don't have the kahunas to do what they need to do. It's because they're pandering too much to get 1 2 low votes. Well, maybe it's more than 1 2 low votes because they know, 25% of their constituents are drug addicts and alcoholics. So they know something that we obviously don't know, honey Jill. Thank you, Sydney. I never heard of Jamal before. Where in Jamaica is it? Is it in Kingston? So he says it's a school in Jamaica that accommodates illiterate people. Oh, so y'all saying that this poor woman need to go to Jamal. Well, I mean, I don't know what her exact level of literacy is. I mean, she can kind of write because sometimes I'm kind of understanding what she's saying. But the all caps thing is what's going to get her blocked in the end. I can ignore the rest of what she says, but I can't ignore the all caps over and over again. All right, alcohol causes changes in the parts of the brain that control motor skills too, which slows down reflexes and decreases the ability to safely steer or use the gas and brake pedals appropriately. Impaired vision, alcohol relaxes the muscles that control the eyes, causing blurred vision and slower visual reaction time. The bottom line is you should not be drinking and operating any machinery, much less a vehicle. Absolutely. Roberto Jose says, what happened to the case you posted 1 or 2 months ago where the 3 men got arrested in Bontan. Police found a gun at the residence. Oh, God. Roberto, there have been so many of those that you got to help me recall which one. Was this the one down Pedro? Oh, Lord. We have to wait till they start to make progress through the court system because there's been a number of them. All right. Listen, I have a bit of a feel-good story, and then we need to talk about this tropical storm Hillary and the lashing that she is giving. Apparently, she's moving very, very quickly based on what was said this morning, 30 miles per hour. I've never seen anything like it. This person says, good morning. YouTube sounds good. A lot of Jay supporters are addicts too. Shall I've heard what's going on north side. This person says less about making a bad decision and more about thinking things through, not being willing to think ahead of your actions and understand that your behavior, no matter good or bad, will have consequences. Absolutely. Miss Stacy says Jamal is for people who can't read or write. Okay, never heard of it before. Who is Sean Jackson? I don't know who that is. This person says I know him. But what does that have to do? So lightning striked the tower. That's why the station was off this morning. Oh, what a mess. They got it fixed. Thank you so much to the hardworking people over there at DMS station. Sandy, maybe that guy is from the BRAC originally. Those BRACers get very defensive when you go for one of theirs. I've witnessed it firsthand. Them lucky. Trust me, me say them lucky. In our business with them. BRACers. If it's the one down Pedro, I think one guy is still in police custody, at least one of them. And there's quite a situation there. I'm still trying to get some additional information on that one. Lord have mercy. What's that? All right, let's have a look. The fire in Hawaii, my God, took at least 100 lives. It will continue to, the death toll will probably, they say 114 now, according to Reuters, which was updated 23 minutes ago. At least 20 non-fatal injuries, 850 people missing. Lord Jesus. So this 114 people confirmed dead could go up. At least 11,000 people displaced. At least 2,200 buildings destroyed. 3,200 acres affected. And some $5.5 billion with a B, dollars in property damage. It is devastating to say the least. 850 people still missing, which means that those people could be dead. It may end up being the worst fire in modern U.S. history. I mean, it is already the deadliest in modern U.S. history. That will likely be surpassed with at least 150 people now confirmed dead after these wildfires. It's devastating, to say the least. Photos, the entire historical town burnt to the ground. Oh my gosh. It's so hard to see this. So I wanted to share with you all that even in the depths of our despair, sometimes we have a little glimmer of something positive, a feel-good story. No matter how bad life is, sometimes you gotta really search for the silver lining, but it's still there. Have a listen to this truly amazing story, folks.
The story out of Maui is certainly one that is absolutely devastating. The number of people killed, we still don't have a final death toll. The damage estimates. We know 100 people are confirmed dead from those wildfires that destroyed more than 2,000 structures, homes, and other buildings, some over a century old. Authorities estimating it could cost over $5 billion to rebuild the popular destination of Lahaina alone. But this morning, a sign of hope for those who are praying for Maui's recovery. Maria Lanakila Catholic Church, it opened more than 175 years ago. Look at that beautiful structure, is still standing tall, untouched by the flames. Reverend Monsignor Terrence Watanabe is here live with me. Good morning to you, Reverend. Thank you for being here. This church, standing since 1846, that's just amazing. Spared while all the other buildings around it seem to be destroyed. Was somebody praying that the church would be untouched, or was everyone shocked when they went to the property after that fire rolled through?
I think they were shocked. I mean, we really see this as an incredible miracle, so to speak. Spiritually, we always, look for the presence of God in our world, whether it's a rainbow or whether, it's other people's love for us or whatever. It's nice to know that God is with us and that his love and his presence is there.
Yeah.
It is amazing because right behind the church is the convent and the preschool and two school buildings plus the parish hall, and all of that burned.
Wow.
But the church and the rectory next door to the church did not burn. And Father Kuikose, who's the pastor there, went into the church 2 days after, and the inside of the church, nothing is touched. There's no damage. And the even greater thing was the fact that there were flowers at the foot of the altar, and those flowers were not withered from the heat.
I mean, you just keep on giving more evidence of mercy over that chapel.
Exactly.
It reminds me of the 17th century St. Paul's Chapel in New York City, which George Washington, historically, he prayed inside after being sworn in as president. Somehow it was not damaged, even though it's next door to the World Trade Towers on 9/11. It became a place of consolation for emergency responders. Is the same thing happening at your church? Are people coming in spite of maybe losing everything, in spite of the fact that perhaps they can't go home, but they can come to pray?
Yeah, my church is actually St. Anthony's in Wailuku, which is on the other side of the island. We're in central Maui. But at Maria Lanakila, the government, nobody can go into the town yet.
Oh, okay.
So Maria Lanakila has another church, which is out in Kapalua. So this past Sunday, the other day, Bishop and I and a few other priests, we were able to get in with the permission of the Maui Police Department to go and celebrate Mass with the parishioners at 8 o'clock in the morning on Sunday.
Well, that's lovely.
So that was a wonderful experience, and it was just tragic and heart-wrenching to hear their stories and all that they've been through, and how some of them even were trapped in their car because the traffic backed up, and they actually got out of their car and ran through the flames in order to get out. And they were safe.
I can't imagine just feeling of just utter despair. Really quickly, Reverend, can you just pray a little prayer for those who are struggling? I think that many people would want to hear what you, being there in Maui, would say about what they need and what their hope should be in.
Yeah, I'd be happy to do that. One of the things I think that's important for people to understand is, because sometimes when these kinds of tragedies happen, we just kind of wonder, how could a good God, let all this kind of tragedy take place? And I think, what's important is, you can be angry with God. He's a big boy and he can handle it, so no problem. But I think, the worst thing would be, to give God the silent treatment and not talk to him. And, this past Sunday's gospel, when we read it at the church, was incredible because basically it was Jesus calling on Peter to walk on water. And, Peter stepped out of the boat and trusted in the Lord and started to walk on water. But then when the winds came, he started to sink. Jesus was there to pull him back out of the water. So, two things. One is that's what we're being challenged to do, I think, is the fact that, the Lord's calling us to walk on water and do the impossible, but at the same time to trust in him. And yes, there are going to be times of doubt and fear because this is long range for us, the work that is ahead of us. And, there are going to be times when we doubt and but hopefully we continue to turn to the Lord and continue to call out to him. And Peter called out and said, Lord, save me. And hopefully we keep doing that as well.
Absolutely.
To save these people and save us. Yeah.
Yeah, and certainly hope that people who are displaced, people who don't know where their loved ones are, that they get reconnected very soon. Reverend Monsignor Terence Watanabe, thank you very much for being with us
so much
early this morning.
It.
Yes, we appreciate you. Wow.
God bless.
Fantastic to see that church still standing. A blessing.
And to hear his words of wisdom and inspiration and hope.
Thank you for watching.
So, a bit of a inspirational moment there, and that the church is still standing. Call it whatever you want. Coincidence, divine intervention, doesn't really matter. I think it's still an amazing story, and it gives people something to hold on to, which at a time like this, you can imagine that you would be feeling a lot of despair. The sad thing is there's now a wildfire in Washington State that is raging as we speak, folks. Have a look at this one.
The wildfires ripping across eastern Washington State are tonight unrelenting. Different blazes have been raging outside Spokane since Friday.
Oh, you're not doing anything with that.
The largest, the out-of-control Gray Fire, spanning more than 10,000 acres, tied to at least one death. Also burning the Oregon Road Fire and the far smaller Winona Fire. The trio fueled by excessive heat and high winds, destroying dozens of structures with thousands ordered to evacuate, like Melissa Thurman, who says her home burned down.
I can't even explain the feeling of knowing that everything that you worked for is gone. So there's going to be insurance and stuff, but it doesn't make up for what you see when you see all of your stuff turn to ash.
Today, Governor Jay Inslee touring an evacuation shelter.
This has been horrendous fires. The aridity, the wind, this fire moved 7 miles in one afternoon.
And earlier, the National Weather Service reporting the Spokane region's air quality was the worst in the U.S. and perhaps the whole world. Another challenge for people fleeing danger.
It was scary. I was shaking. My mom was crying. My dad was starting to cry because we don't want to watch our house go up in flames.
Some families holding on to memories as they leave so much else behind. Jesse Kirsch, NBC News.
Wow.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.
Absolutely heart-wrenching, folks. And I wish I could tell you that was it, that was the only place. But guess what? Canada also dealing with wildfires today. I mean, this heat, they said they're no longer calling it a heat wave. It's a heat. What was the other term that they used? But it's off the chain crazy. It is unbelievable. It's unrelenting. Oh my goodness. All over the world, Europe, right? Intense and long-lasting heat wave hits France, record temperatures. Oh, it's just unbelievable. We can talk some more about the heat wave tomorrow, but it's contributing to some of these wildfires. So in British Columbia, at least 30,000 households in British Columbia are being told now to evacuate as nearly 400 wildfires are raging. 400 wildfires are raging in British Columbia province. Jeez on peace. 2 huge fires in the Shuswap region merged overnight, destroying blocks of homes and other buildings. To the south, traveled to the waterside city of, Kelowna? Has been restricted as smoke from nearby fires hang over Lake Okanagan. I think that's how that's pronounced. Charring homes in West Kelowna, a city of some 36,000 people. Travel restrictions in place all over the place. Hundreds of miles north, a huge fire continues to edge towards the city of Yellowknife. Jeez. Official deadline to evacuate the city, the capital of Canada's Northwest Territories, lapsed on Friday. Local officials said that nearly all residents had left either by car or plane. About 19,000 of the city's 20,000 inhabitants had evacuated. And authorities said 39 patients were moved out of a hospital there to alternative facilities on Friday evening, making them the last people to be evacuated from the city. My God. They're calling it an apocalyptic scene as Canadians flee wildfires. It's unbelievable. Another 36,000 homes are under evacuation alerts, and they're asking people to please just leave. You can imagine like that woman said, I feel her pain. You know, our homes are normally our biggest investment that we will ever make in our entire lives. Hundreds of thousands, if not more, dollars you spend on purchasing and obtaining a home. And when a wildfire comes, you can't pack up everything. You get your photos, your bare essentials, the pets and family members, and out the door you go. Everything is just a complete loss. Oh. It is very, very difficult, folks, to even fathom what this is. Canada's British Columbia now under state of emergency as these I'm going to show you guys as these wildfires rage. Hi, good morning. Oh, sorry. Hello. 1 second. Hi. Hello. Hello.
Hey, Miss Sandra, I'm calling from Helix Healthcare to confirm your appointment for tomorrow at 1 o'clock with Dr. Anthony.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. We see you then.
All right, bye-bye. Let me make sure I got it in my calendar, honey chill. An appointment for tomorrow. That's the foot doctor. 1 o'clock. Yep, got him in there. And then I got a 2 o'clock. All right, honey chill. My goodness, what a hot mess. It's a sad situation to see, I must tell you. I'm gonna get y'all some footage. Hold on 1 second. What is this thing doing? Hold on. Let me just show you this one. I mean, I can't believe it. You know, but my gosh, so horrific. Really and truly. Look at this one now. British Columbia, Washington State. It's like, we're next. Look at this. Oh my God.
This is why wildfires are so terrifying. In an instant, it shifts, grows, consuming everything and everyone in its wake.
Feel the heat?
Oh my God. This was Nikki Goyer's view from the passenger seat.
At the very end, where the right to the right, that is where we felt the most intense heat. In the car, you could feel a little bit of warmth driving through it, but most of it was just the fear of all the red.
The red, the glow, is all that lights up the skies here in West Kelowna in British Columbia, where tens of thousands of people have evacuated or been told to, with unknown numbers of homes and buildings already destroyed.
We will start counting the number of houses when we stop fighting the fires that are burning today. As soon as we know, we'll share the information.
Jeff and Julie Hoffman evacuated, but they say their community is keeping them updated on what they left behind remotely with doorbell cameras.
We're on a Facebook group, a community Facebook group that just is posting constantly. Here's how things look right now out the front door. It just gives people some peace of mind.
A reassuring glance at their past, and they hope their future after this experience that they say has only strengthened their love of this area.
We were generously offered our friend's house while they're out of town, and we've heard, again, just hundreds of people offering their places, offering their acreages to store all of their vehicles and their toys and their things.
This has been a terrible wildfire season for many parts of Canada, Right now, the country is battling over 1,000 wildfires, many of those classified out of control and headed toward new communities every day. Patty Culhane, Al Jazeera.
Officials in Western Canada are hoping to gain some ground today in their battle against raging forest fires. But hundreds of fires are still threatening communities throughout the region, with thousands of people forced out of their homes. And officials are warning the worst of this wildfire crisis may not be over. Al Sweeney has the details.
At last count, almost 400 fires were burning in the forests of British Columbia. Almost 160 of them out of control, many near communities like Kelowna. And tens of thousands of people have been forced to evacuate.
Feel the heat?
Oh my God.
Like Nikki Goyer, who drove out of the fire zone with her fiance.
Yeah, I was terrified. Right to the right. That is where we felt the most intense heat in the car.
They made it to safety. But after ordering thousands of evacuations, local officials say they were given a break today from high winds that were driving the fires.
I'm happy to report that we've made progress on the fire. From our experts today, you'll hear that the weather has been cooperating with us and that we've been able to make progress overnight, but we still have a long fight ahead of us.
And the strain is evident.
I kind of wanted to start off by just thanking, it's been a long few days.
Wow. Poor guy.
I just want to congratulate all our firefighters.
British Columbia is under a state of emergency with fires burning throughout the province.
Wow.
In what's called the worst wildfire season in Canada's history. The Canadian Wildland Fire Information System shows almost 15 million hectares burned by wildfires this year, compared to less than 5 million in all of 2021. And hundreds of fires are burning in the Northwest Territories, forcing the evacuation of 20,000 people from the capital, Yellowknife.
It was kind of a rough trip. I was afraid of getting caught in the fires that were coming across the road.
Many of them left everything behind except their pets.
And I mean, I know it's just stuff, but it's our stuff and our family memories and yeah, everything we've acquired over a lifetime is still there.
I can't believe what's happening. Is this real? Is my home going to be there when I go back?
Like BC, the city of Yellowknife also got a break from the fires this weekend, but officials say the weather could change, fueling the fires again. There's no word at this point on the total number of buildings and other property destroyed, but there are no reports of any loss of life.
Wow.
So far,
I think that that's amazing. No reports of loss of life, which means that obviously the people in Canada are listening to the authorities, are getting out. Hopefully, you know, you can rebuild. I mean, I accept that a lot of things lost, you know, those are memories that will be hard to replace those, but things can be replaced. People cannot be. So dogs can't be. Grab your cats and your dogs, grab the animals and get out. But such an unfortunate situation. It's just unbelievable. Wildlife, oh my God. Damien, I can't even imagine the devastation that it does to the wildlife as well, because in those forests, it's not just trees, it's not just woodlands, it's not just, you know, it's animals. And entire species could very well be wiped out as a result of these wildfires and stuff as well. So it's horrific. Our thoughts and prayers go out to the people in Hawaii. Our thoughts and prayers go out to the people now in Canada, in Washington. I mean, it's like you hate to even ask where next, because you feel like this heat, this intense heat situation that's happening this summer has definitely been you know, causing some serious issues. And they say the worst heat wave of the year, there's more to come. So folks, I encourage all of you, the heat index is ridiculous. Please protect yourselves. You know, we need to be smart. I saw Irvlin just asking the question, what if we ever had a wildfire here? Some of y'all love to throw stuff in the bushes and just start bush fires and all kind of stuff until they get out of control. Please be sensible. This is not the time for that. You know, our firefighters do a very good job of fighting things when they can, but don't start one to begin with. Don't be throwing your lit cigarettes in the bushes. I'm hoping y'all are starting to give up smoking because you know how bad that is for your health. But nonetheless, please, you know, be sensible. Don't be burning trash and all this other stuff. Do yourselves, your neighbors, and everybody else a favor, and don't take any chances. Now, if that wasn't bad enough, California, I was actually just checking in on one of our contributors here. I'll see if I can reach her by phone. I'm not sure if I can, but Kenyatta is being impacted by the system in California because she's in California. So I want to see if we can reach her by phone and see if she can give us any kind of an update on what's going on with her situation. So let's see if we can hear from her this morning. The world is.
Hey, Sandy.
Hey, I know it's still early in California, but I've got you live on air. I just wanted to check in with you and see if you could give our listeners a little bit of an idea of what's happening in your neck of the woods with the storm that was coming through.
So actually the hurricane, well, it came through yesterday, but while it was in the process of coming and raining and all of that, there ended up being an earthquake at the same time, which was pretty interesting. I've never been in an earthquake before.
Oh my God. Now,
yeah,
just remind me exactly where you're physically located.
So I'm in Los Angeles.
Right.
California.
Yeah.
So, yeah, in the process of getting the hurricane, we were getting the earthquake. And so it got bad last night with the rain and the wind. There's flooding really bad here. Yeah, it's not like anything the hurricane, we were getting the earthquake. And so it got, yeah. So there's the flooding is really bad. It's not like the East Coast where you know, they get this stuff all the time. No, there's flooding. The schools are out, you know, they canceled school for today. So it's actually not that bad today. I mean, I can see, like, even looking out my window, I can see where the wind was here last night and there's some things blowing around, but I believe it's closer to the beach. I'm inland, away from the beach. So yeah.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But you guys are safe, thankfully.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So just continue to remain safe. I mean, I wasn't really paying that much attention to the tropics, and this isn't, you know, this is coming from the other end. And next thing I know, yesterday I was hearing about the storm that's going to be hitting California. It's like, what on earth?
Yeah, and I was actually pretty scared when it was coming in because with the storm and then there being an earthquake, I didn't know what was next. Is there going to be like a tornado or a tsunami? How many natural disasters? I mean, what's going to happen all at one time? It was a lot going on in one day. Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Well,
and I don't know that California hasn't had a hurricane or a tropical storm, I think, since like 1939.
What?
Yeah.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, we kind of get them not all the time, but you know, every couple of years. So we're kind of used to it to a certain extent. I didn't even realize that it was that long for you guys. Wow.
Oh, it's decades. Yeah, it's been a while. So you know, everyone was kind of, you know, I think, yeah, kind of freaking out. We didn't know what to do. We didn't know what to do. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Kenyatta. I'm so glad that you guys are okay.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, we're doing good. So we'll see what happens today. I don't know if there's going to be any surge or anything like that. We'll see.
All right, my dear. Be safe.
All right. Thanks.
Okay, dear. Thanks very much.
Bye.
So again, that's Kenyatta. She's one of the contributors here. She actually helps with a lot of the social media management stuff. So sometimes if you're messaging on Facebook and Instagram, she's posting the lost dogs and all this kind of stuff. And right in the middle of all of that, she's got this happening in her life. So let's have a look at a few of the news clips in relation to this
Severe weather on the West Coast because right now 8 million people across the Southwest are at risk of dangerous flash flooding after Tropical Storm Hilary unleashed record-shattering rainfall and catastrophic floods in Southern California. It turned desert towns into rivers. Take a look at this new video into CNN of Cathedral City being overtaken by floodwaters overnight. Hilary has weakened to a post-tropical cyclone. Threat not over yet, though. Forecasters are warning there could be more mudslides, more life-threatening flooding all day there. This was the scene in San Bernardino County. You can see trees and boulders just rushing by.
Up in the mountains, firefighters were trapped at their station after, look at this, a huge mudslide blocked the road. They heard a rumbling noise and they went to check it out. And then one of the firefighters was recording this video when a wall of mud and rocks, they started coming down the hill towards them and they had to run for safety. We have team coverage. Derek Van Dam is tracking the storm in the CNN Weather Center as the latest on the forecast. Mike Valerio is in San Diego. Let's start, though, with Stephanie Elam, live on the ground in Cathedral City. You've been there all day and now overnight into the morning. What are you seeing? Still water on the roads?
Oh, so much water. Victor, take a look down here because I'm actually standing next to the edge of the curb here, and I try to put my toe down to feel like how far down that is, and I can't reach it. That's how deep it is. And since the last time I talked to you an hour ago, there was a car here. They finally got a tow truck. It took them about 4 or 5 hours before the tow truck could get here. This is happening all through these desert towns because it was just so much water in such a short amount of time. This morning, Palm Springs is under a local emergency order as heavy rain from Hilary is causing dangerous flood conditions and prompting at least 3 swift water rescues.
We're asking residents to stay inside, stay where they are.
The mayor's warning is because of a situation like this. A pickup truck stuck in the middle of a street, surrounded by deep, rushing floodwaters. The driver was not injured, but the California Highway Patrol closed the road to prevent others from crossing. Those floodwaters so powerful, a refrigerator was seen floating away in them. This drone video taken over a nearby neighborhood where the flooding has nearly covered an entire golf course.
My God.
One homeowner says he's never seen anything like it in the Coachella Valley.
Within 24 hours, it's turned into a torrential storm. Between hole number 13 and hole number 16, it's virtually 6 feet thick.
The conditions there also creating a dangerous situation for drivers, including a fire truck forced to turn around due to rising waters. Ahead of the storm, the Palm Springs mayor says the city prepared and distributed 60,000 sandbags, as well as cleared storm drains.
Even an inch or 2 of rain in the desert can cause damage.
All right, take a look at this. The road totally covered up, but it's also completely socked in on this other side of the road. I mean, look. Ooh, I'm barely touching the bottom there. State officials say some desert regions, like Palm Springs, could double their yearly amount of water in just one day from Hilary.
Wow.
Overnight, officials in Ventura County searched by helicopter and on the ground for a couple of people believed to be trapped by floodwaters from the Santa Clara River. 2 people eventually walked out of the flooded area, assisted by crews. Officials urging everyone to stay out of river bottoms and canals. Whoa. And this was the scene Sunday in Wrightwood, about 77 miles northeast of Los Angeles. Huge gushes of water forcing their way through a wash, carrying large logs, rocks, and muddy debris. Exactly the type of thing the governor wants people to be on alert for.
Take seriously debris flows and floods, flash floods, lightning, possibility of tornadoes.
What a hot mess.
And we were out here all day yesterday while the storm really made its impact felt here. And it was amazing to see just how quickly roads were flooded out. It was happening so fast. So no surprise today that some schools are closed. Many schools in this region are closed today. And also what we were also hearing is that 911 communications are down. And that is why it is still taking a long time for rescues to go out, because so many of the roads are inundated, including Interstate 10, which runs through here as well, Poppy and Victor.
Wow, 911 down in some areas makes it even worse. Steph, thank you very much. Later this hour, we're going to be joined by the mayor of Palm Springs, California, Mayor Grace Garner.
From Southern California now to the CNN Weather Center, meteorologist Derek Van Dam is there tracking the system. So, Derek, we saw the wave.
So, folks, shocking really that this is just a tropical storm. But of course, those regions, as Kenyatta said, they're not used to this. They haven't had a storm like this since maybe the 1920s or 30s or something ridiculous. It's pretty crazy. It's pretty wild. You know, I don't know what to say. The world is a little bit tipsy-turvy at the moment, folks. We are here in our little piece of paradise. All I can tell you is let us be thankful, because it could always be worse. We don't have anything major going on like that here. So, you know, at the end of the day, just we'll keep those people in our prayers and our thoughts. And let us be thankful. Yes, we got the heat. Yes, that's creating the most that's doing is creating a high electricity bill for you. We don't have any wildfires. We don't have any storms. But folks, the tropics are heating up. And so I want to encourage all of you to please be vigilant, be on the lookout, be aware, because at this time now, you know, we have the possibility of storms. We're coming into what is really the peak of hurricane season, September 10th being the peak. And as we know from Hurricane Ivan, September 9th and 10th, we just have to very much be on the lookout. Good morning, caller, and welcome to the program.
Good morning. I say, oh my God, I feel so sorry for them poor people. I hope nothing don't come to us. But boy, I tell you, last night I've been having a raging too, and I was saying, well, I know my alphabetical orders, but I was saying, Chief, because I've been watching this thing that they say we're going to California from day before yesterday, and I was up on the news, and they were saying about what kind of storm it was being, the winds and whatever, which thank God it never hit them no harder. But I was saying last night when we were getting all of that rain and breeze and thunder and lightning thing, I said, well, here we're going for California, Clinton might be coming for us. and because I never seen anything like that yet. My Sandra, I hardly look, even in Ivan and stuff, I never block my bathroom window or nothing, because it normally, when we having winds and stuff, it don't come from that side, and that's the side it was coming from last night. I even had to lock my bathroom window. The water, when I get in, when I come out of my room, the water was, well, it was playing in the bathtub, but then it had reached the actual bathroom floor, and I said, oh my God, what is this out my front yard? You could sail kayak or paddle board out there. I don't know how I can get out today, because I need to go out, and out there flood out. I mean, that was the rain. And then I opened my drain, but what happened is that the tide's so high that nothing are running out. So I tell you, boy, and then poor people that I mean, I never really lose nothing. My heart goes for them people, because I know that must be hard standing up and seeing where you walk years and years, like you say, things, material things can be replaced and people's life can't. But then I can imagine, I know if that problem with me, I would drop there just looking to see, you know, watching your stuff burn or it get demolished, because times are hard now. I mean, to rebuild, and then things are expensive. So that must be a bad experience. I hope God don't help me that I don't experience that, because my little house mightn't be the greatest, but at least it's sheltering me, and I feel sorry for them poor people. I just pray that nothing else. And I don't know why. And luckily that we getting plenty of rain, and no, because
we have just a couple seconds left, caller.
With all this rain and thing, I guess we won't get. I hope we don't get no fire or nothing like that, because I say I feel sorry for them poor people.
Thank you, my dear. All right, darling.
Okay, be on the side.
I appreciate that. Yes, folks, 7 seconds left. Got to end the program on time today, because we got things to do and people to see. And have a beautiful day.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Cold Hard Truth on Bobo 89.1 FM. Cayman's #1 talk show is live weekdays from 7:30 a.m. Never miss an episode again. Watch anytime on CMR's Facebook and YouTube channels for the latest show episodes. Don't forget to follow us online on our social media channels. And visit CaymanMarlRoad.com for all the latest news and community happenings.